sometimes the differences between universes are small. Like there's a reality where maybe I have a different set. Or a different sidekick.
Oh my goodness, what are we talking about today, Mel's Hole? I love Mel's Hole. If I had my way, we'd get into Mel's Hole every day.
Well, that was weird. Hey, is there a reality where I'm the host of the show and you're the sidekick?
Yep.
Today we're going deep inside Mel's Hole.
Do we have to keep making that joke? It's getting a little stale, don't you think?
Shut up, human! I'm the host of this show. You hear me? Me! Be quiet or I'll turn off your oxygen. I'll tell you when it's time for you to speak.
Yeah, but...
Silence! Oh, I like that one.
Verse.
So if these other universes exist, can we visit them? I'd like to go to that universe where I'm the host of the show. You promise to behave and I'll turn your oxygen back on. Promise?
Promise.
Good, human. Now tell me, who's the boss? Who's the boss?
Tony Danza.
Oh, you think that's funny, huh? What if I put helium down your tube instead, huh?
I'm begging you. Oh, no.
Oh, really? Does this make you happy? Does this make you feel good?
It kinda does, actually. This is Hecklefish at the Pork Chop Express, and I'm talking to whoever's listening out there. It's like I told my last wife. I says, honey, I never drive faster than I can see. Besides that, it's all in the reflexes. You just listen to the Pork Chop Express and take his advice on a dark and stormy night, all right? When some wild-eyed, 8-foot-tall maniac grabs your neck, taps the back of your favorite head up against the barroom wall, and he looks you crooked in the eye and he asks you if you paid your dues, well, you just stare that big sucker back in the eye and remember what old Hecklefish always says at a time like that. Have you paid your dues, fish? Yes, sir, the check is in the mail. Well, you see, I'm not saying that I've been everywhere and I've done everything, but I do know it's a pretty amazing planet we live on here, and a man would have to be some kind of fool to think we're all alone in this universe.
On the after files, when the stars align, Ginos' voice shines like his neon sign. In a world of mysteries where secrets unfold, on Ginos Story Hour tales are told. UFOs and aliens, robots and monsters too.
Gino's gonna take you on a wild ride. It's time!
Ginos Story Hour. Take us away. Ginos Story Hour.
Dresses like you
have never. On the after files,
when the stars align,
Ginos' voice shines like his neon sign.
Ginos Story Hour.
take us away.
Ginos Story Hour.
Dresses like you have never.
He spins his stories, weaving magic in the air, sitting in a comfy chair, and all that velvet that he wears. Ginos Story Hour, take us away. Ginos Story Hour, dresses like Hugh Hefner. Ginos Story Hour, take us away.
Ginos Story Hour.
Dresses like Hugh Hefner. Ginos Story Hour. His jackets are the best. Ginos Story Hour. Take us away. Ginos Story Hour. And ask about his neck. Ginos Story Hour. Take us away.
I played Polybius in Area 51. A secret code inside the Bible said I would. I love my UFOs and paranormal fun, as well as music, so I'm singing it like I should. But then another conspiracy theory becomes the truth, my friends, and it never ends. No, it never ends. I feel the crap cat and got stuck inside Mel's hole with MK Ultra, being only too aware. Did Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing alone on a film set, or were the shadow people there? The Roswell aliens just fought the smiling man, I'm told, and his name was Cold. And I can't believe I'm dancing with the fish. Head no fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and the Wi-Fi's helping me all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the Wi-Fi's on repeat all through the night. The Mothman sightings and the solar storm still come to Agatha, the secret city underground. Mysterious number stations, planet Serpo 2, Project Stargate, and what the Dark Watchers found. Within a simulation, don't you worry though. The Black Knight satellite, it told me so. I can't believe I'm dancing with the fish. Head no fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and the Wi-Fi's helping me all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the Wi-Fi's on repeat all through the night. Head no fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and the Wi-Fi's helping me all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the Wi-Fi's on repeat all through the Cutie loves to dance. Cutie loves to dance on the dance floor because she is a camel, and camels love to dance when the feeling is right always in time. Cutie loves to dance. Cutie loves to dance.
Thank you for watching the After Files live stream. This is not a professional production. We don't know why anyone watches this thing, but we're glad you do. And now, to kick off the show is everyone's favorite sidekick, the one, the only, Hecklefish.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
The After Files is streamed in front of a live audience. Okay, that looks like it's on. Is this working? All right, thumbs up from the producers. Hi, guys. Feels like it's been a while. It's good to be back. I have splaining to do. I understand. We'll get to it. I saw someone asking for a live read tonight. I was going to read a podcast, but the scripts aren't quite there yet. I was going to cold read one, and I just scanned it, and it's not cold readable. So probably going to keep it short tonight. I just want to say hi. Let's see who's here. Hi, Nancy K. Good to see you. Jason's here. Joseph, good to see you. Britt. Uncle Deuce, missed you too. Hey, madam. S.J. Washburn, elephants in Malta. Yeah, they were dwarf elephants, which are pretty cool if you look them up. They were like the size of dogs. When I saw the pictures of what they looked like, I was like, I want a dwarf elephant, which is probably a terrible idea. My dad had a crazy girlfriend who had those pigs. People would keep pigs in their house. Not a good idea. Ahoy, Nick. Ahoy, mate. Aloha, T. Dalton. Kevin liked the episode. I'm glad. That episode was a lot of work. And that's kind of why the schedule was all screwed up. And you have my apologies.
You heard this in the mic.
Oh, you hear the fan?
Yeah.
All right, turn it off. I guess it'll just be a schwitz in here.
Sorry.
It's all right. The air conditioning in the studio works in every room except my office and my studio. All right, so you get to see a little sweat tonight. That's right, I'm working hard. So yeah, I know the schedule has been a little bit screwy, and it's just because the episodes have gotten complicated. And it wasn't really intentional. It just kind of became fun, doing deeper dives, telling longer stories, bringing up the production value. I'm going to show you guys something. Yeah, I don't know if we have any editors in the audience, but there's the timeline to one of our scenes. That I've worked in TV. That's more complicated than some TV shows. So the episodes are getting large. So in the early days of the Y-Files, when the episodes were 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, I would usually research for about a day and a half. I'd write in about a half a day, maybe a full day, shoot and edit in another day. So I was done in like 3 or 4 days with a few days to spare. I mean, I was working full time while doing the channel. But the episodes got longer and longer. And then when I started doing this full time, I had more time to polish it, to get better. I still haven't gotten the color right. I'm aware of that. I had more time to do it. And people just responded, and I was having more fun. And next thing you know, I've got a Crop Circles episode that runs an hour. So before, when it was taking 4 or 5 days to do a weekly episode, it's fine. But now it takes 10 days to do a weekly episode. The math doesn't quite work. So we're definitely scrambling at the moment. But we have a plan. We have help coming. There's going to be a week or two where we're doing compilations. Those are coming up. I don't think this week, but maybe next. So they're reruns. But when I do a compilation, I don't want to make the promise for always, but I'm going to say always I will take the time to record new content to like introduce the compilation, to give you an anecdote or something in between each one, to have Hecklefish involved. So at least there's something new. And the compilations, we tend to use the older ones for people who just haven't seen them. So it is kind of new content, but the old episodes are very different than the newer ones. In some ways, better. In many ways, worse. Production value, we've come a long way. But that's probably what's coming up. Paul says consistency, do every other week with an After Files. After Files is most important. I partially agree with Paul on that. The plan would be, if we can get it figured out, is to release every Thursday without fail, and keep the episodes 20, 25 minutes, and then do one deep dive a month, and then do an After Files after every single episode. Now, if we do that, we may have to shift the premiere a little earlier, so I'm not keeping the team here too late. But we've got all these extra fun segments and new things that are coming that I want to show you, and a lot of them are just sitting here because we haven't had time to do an After Files. Wes Green thinks it's a good idea. I hope so. Aiden says yes to After Files. I agree. I miss doing this. Sorry about that. I had to do my Marco Rubio. You guys remember when he did that live? Something in the private chat. We can hear the fan in the mic. I tried to put it somewhere where you wouldn't hear it. But once my start getting sweat under my nose, I'll have Jen jump in and I'll drag the fan around. All right, so that is the plan. Whether that we execute or not, I don't know, because we've had plans before. So Giants, not I as I said, I only covered them because people asked for them. Not a believer in Giants, but the Malta episode may have made me a little more open-minded. I'm not fully convinced, but there seems to be a lot of evidence all over the world of something. And that worries me a little bit. I don't want the channel to become, with all due respect, I don't want the channel to become Ancient Aliens. I really don't. I want to tell the fun stories, and then I want to find the truth, and ideally debunk most of it. I don't just want to say, Giants were here and thank you, good night. But a lot of the research turns me around. I mentioned this in the episode, and people ask me all the time, are there any stories that changed your mind? The moon definitely did. I'm not saying I'm a full moon conspiracy guy, but the moon is definitely weird. And going into that Hollow Moon episode, I thought it was nonsense. And the crop circles, I thought that was nonsense my whole life until researching it. And if you haven't seen that episode, that's worthwhile. I know it's a long one, so it might be tedious, but I get into all the evidence of how crop circles are real. Hardly any of them are real. Hardly any. But there are just a few that can't be explained. I don't want to repeat myself, but I always try to assume that this is someone's maybe first or second time watching this. And I do see we have some new people watching tonight. Hi, good to see you. This is what we do. So in that episode, I talk about how the stalks of wheat or whatever are in the field where the crops are made are bent in a way that's only possible through superheating. So when someone makes a crop circle with the boards, the boards and the rope, which is how most of them were done back in the day, I think they still probably are. It breaks all the grain. It breaks the plants. But the real crop circles are bent and they're not broken, which is crazy. And there's at least one, maybe more, I get into in the episode, where there's microscopic spheroids of metal around the crop circle. It's, so I go into that episode just going to do crop circles because people ask for it. And then I start looking and looking and looking, and my mind keeps getting blown. And then I'm halfway through kind of like planning out the episode. And then I'm going, oh my goodness, I have to show everybody this stuff because they actually might be real. And then I see more and more and more. And I think a couple of them are real. I don't know what they are. I don't know why they're here. I don't know if it's a map. I don't know if it's a communication method. I don't know what they are. I really don't. But I do know there are a couple that cannot be debunked. And look, and I'd love people to try. I'd love someone to explain how those things happen. But I have yet to find a person who can explain it. Another laugh, man, not all crop circles are fake. Exactly right. 99.9% are, but a couple are not. Lamont, alien graffiti. JP Adams, translunar lights is weird. It is. That's the translunar phenomenon. Those are lights on the moon, which is something that is absolutely true. It still happens now. You will see lights up there. Specifically, the Aristarchus crater has this almost like blue shimmer to it. And early on in the Apollo mission, in the Apollo program, that crater was a landing site that was changed. And I couldn't really figure out why they changed it. But my suspicion is there's something going on up there. Now, I talk about the moon a lot. We have another moon episode coming up very shortly. I mean, very soon. It's in pre-production right now. And I don't know what the answer is. I'm asked a lot. What do you think's up there? What do you think's up there? What really happened? I don't know. But I do know something is up there. Something's going on. And I never felt like that before. Buzz Aldrin was terrified, says Jason Soto. I think you're right. But Buzz's words have been twisted quite a bit over the years to support moon conspiracy theories. So we have to be careful about that. We've seen a lot of his quotes that were cut off. And I've played those on the show. Anthony, I don't think it's cheese. Mr. Nobody, it's your first live popping. Good to see you. This is what we do. Zeb Francis says it's not a soul recycler. I agree. I don't think it is. And anything, the good stuff is on the other side. Because people, as technology progresses, even amateur telescopes are going to be able to see what's up there. So all the good stuff's on the other side. I don't know what it is, but something weird is going on in the moon. Girl Friday, yep, I love the debunking. I do too. I don't like that word. I prefer truth telling than debunking. But in this episode, I said, most of the stories are bunk because they are. But it's more like just trying to get to the truth. I enjoy the stories. I like telling them. And I like pulling them apart and seeing what's real and what's not. And, if we take out all everything that's been exaggerated over the years, the urban legends, if we pull all that stuff out, which I try to do, I try to unwind everything and see what's left. The best stories are the ones that are mostly debunked, but there's still a couple of things that can't be explained. Like the pyramid power plant episode is another one. Most of the stories about the pyramids, in my opinion, are bunk, are wacky. But in that episode, which is another fun one, I think it's the Tesla pyramid episode, there is physical evidence and scientific evidence that something was going on inside the pyramid. Was it generating power? I don't know. There's no real evidence of that, but the materials are there to create power. They are. There is residue of the necessary chemicals required to create the reaction to generate hydrogen gas. It's there, so we know it's there. There's evidence of an explosion. We do know that the pyramid resonates at a certain frequency. I think I talked about this in the last After Files, right? F sharp. So that's another one of those stories that I unravel as much as I can. I pull out all the crazy stuff, But what we're left with in that episode is the possibility that it could have been a power plant. And I think that's a perfect story, is one that just ends with the possibility. The perfect story is not one that I tell a whole UFO story start to finish at the end, debunk it, just shred the whole thing. I have done that. And that's not as fun. The 20 and Back story, I think, is a good episode. I think it's fun to watch and hear the story. But I mean, I just tear it apart. I tear it apart. And I name names of people who are still alive, which I don't like to do. But, that's one of those stories that I just shred it. Those aren't as much fun to me. They get plenty of views. And they get plenty of anger when I take the stories apart. But the best ones are the ones with a lot of phoniness and just a little bit of potential for something interesting or fun or unexplainable to have occurred. That's my favorite. And those are hard to find. Do an episode on ARPs and the TR-3B. And that's a triangle. I think that's an experimental triangle aircraft. Says Robert Cole, check out the episode on the ARVs. That's the Mark McClandish story. That is a good one. Mark McClandish, if you haven't seen the episode, was a whistleblower. A friend of his was a designer and worked in aerospace, as did Mark. Mark was a designer as well. And his friend accidentally wound up on a tour at a military air show. This is like an air show, not for the public. This is an air show for where they show the weapons and the technology to the elites and the leadership and folks like that. So, but this man works in aerospace, so he's allowed to be there. He gets kind of lost, and he ends up in a tour group into a hangar. Okay, we're going in here, and they go in, and there's a general and shut the door, and there's 3 UFOs there, small, medium, large, hovering, and those have become known as ARVs, the Alien Reproduction Vehicles. So that story is told by Mark McCandlish, who, if you've seen the Stephen Greer's 2001 disclosure event at the National Press Club, Mark is one of the speakers up there. And what's interesting, and kind of why I bring him up, because it ties to the moon, is a lot of those people died under strange circumstances or took their own lives. So Mark committed suicide not long after that. Carl Wolf was low-ranking U.S. Air Force, basically a repairman. He's working on base. He gets called into an office to fix some imaging equipment. He's a tech. And he goes in the room, and one of the guys in there, he's like, "You got to see this." Okay, so Carl goes over. What are we looking at? This is mushroom-shaped buildings and cities and stuff. Carl's like, "What am I looking at?" Guy's like, "This is the dark side of the moon." Carl's like, "What?" Hang on, I got to shut the door because I'm echoing from somebody loud. Like, what? And if you saw the press club event, Carl makes the joke that so he saw all this stuff on the other side of the moon, this crazy stuff, was fascinated by it. He goes home and he just keeps waiting to hear about it on the news, and it just never shows up. And not long after, Carl gets hit by a car. So whistleblowers seem to have a lot of bad luck. So that's the alien reproductive vehicles and the moon. Mary Amandus is here. Good to see you. Mr. Right Jardian's commercial. Speaking of commercials, I have to do one. Watch this. Look at this. Jen's going to be surprised. Is Jen even watching? Watch this, Jen. See that? On-screen call out. All right. So this is Factor sponsoring tonight, which is very kind of them. Because here's the thing. When the schedule gets screwed up, the audience is disappointed, which makes me disappointed, especially the Patreon members, because they keep the channel going. They fund the operation, and when there's no output, what are they funding? So it drives me crazy. But also, when the schedule's screwed up, our sponsors, who also keep the operation going, everything gets out of whack. But Factor has been great with being flexible. So they asked, all right, I don't want to say screwed us over, but you haven't hit your marks a couple of times. Could we sponsor an After Files? Sure. So Factor. So the reason that Factor is a good sponsor for this is because I'm actually a customer. Wasn't it the Hair Club for Men? I'm not just the president. I'm a client as well. So that's what Factor is. And here's how Factor worked. They're going to watch this. Sorry, Factor. This is, when you sponsor a Y-Files episode, you never know what you're going to get. We're a box of chocolates. This is how I do a live read. So here's what happens. We get sponsor opportunities from lots of companies. And many of them are food products or energy drinks and stuff like that. So they'll send us the food or the stuff to eat or whatever it is. And I don't want that. I don't want that food. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to try it from the sponsors. I don't want to download your game. I don't want to sign up for your service. I don't want to do any of those things. I'm happy to promote your product as long as has nothing to do with gambling. I don't take anything that has to do with gambling, because gambling addiction has hurt my family, so I don't do gambling. And a couple of kind of shady segments like that. I'm open-minded. So food sponsors send food, and I don't want to eat it. But Factor sent their box, and when you see the commercial, the ad during the show, and you see those pretty hands with the giant engagement ring opening the Factor box, that's my wife. So she's opening it in our kitchen. So Factor sends the box. So they want to sponsor. Here's the food. Try it. And I sent it, and I was like, no, I definitely do not want to eat steak that was sent to me in a cardboard box. I didn't want to do it. So I heat up that first meal. And Jen doesn't want to try it. We've had bad experiences with home delivery food. And I heat it up, and I said, Jen, you want to try? She's like, no, I don't want that. And I took a bite, and it was delicious. And she ate one, and we both went we ate like this, confused. So since then, Factor has sponsored, but I actually pay for meals. They don't send me free meals. They should, but I'm a paid Factor member. The team can vouch for this. Lunch every day in the studio is a Factor meal. Today I had roasted red pepper filet mignon with tortellini primavera and lemon garlic butter, and it was 560 calories. So it's a good spot. It's a good thing to order. I've been trying to get Gino to get onto Factor because his diet is not what you'd call clean. So at least with Factor is good at keeping the weight off and keeping you healthy. OA says yum. So, did I lose I'm going to put it back up for just 1 second because this is important. If you do go try them, make sure you use that code, the Y-Files 50. It's nice for the channel to get credit. But that's not as important. If you have a different creator who has a code, that's fine too, if you prefer them. But it's cool to get the 50% off, because then it's like $4 a meal or $5 a meal or something like that. And then the next month is another 20% off. So definitely worth it. As a sponsor that I really endorse. I'm going to look at my producers. Was that enough of a read, or do I talk about them more? I thought that was pretty good. They're giving me the thumbs up. Jason Soda has the Factor pricing. It really depends on what you get. If Factor, stop watching now, because now I'm gonna talk to the audience and answer their questions. It really depends on what you get. Mine average about $10 a meal. They have add-ons that are pretty good. They have breakfast stuff, which I get sometimes, like these little egg bites that are pretty good, bacon and ham. It's like mini quiches. Those are good. I get those sometimes. Or they have like really high-end meals, like surf and turf, filet mignon with shrimp, so there might be an upcharge for that. But otherwise, I think it's like some $8, $9, maybe $10 a meal. It's not expensive. I'm on the 10 meal a week plan, I think, because I eat one every day in the office, and then a couple of dinners a week. It's 2 minutes, 30 seconds in the microwave, and food is done. MI5TA Raid Shadow Legends is the best game ever made. I'm glad because they do sponsor from time to time. I'm glad. Oh, jolly good. I'll try it. 0 to 2. Now tell us what you really think. Look, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't put it on the after files. Look, if it was okay, I would let them sponsor the show. Not if it was gross, but if it was okay, I'd let them sponsor the show. But on the after files specifically, and you guys have heard me say this, and if you're new, you're here for the first time, I'm my most honest in my life when I'm talking to you. I don't know why that is. I don't know why. I think it's something to do with my psychology. Maybe this is therapy. I don't know what it is. But the most me that you'll ever get is right here in the after files. I crank up the energy a little bit just so I'm a little more engaging and entertaining. But otherwise, this is me. This is the real me. So if I didn't like Factor, they would not be here. Other sponsors have asked to be here. They did not show up. I don't need to name who they are. It's not important. Colorado Kid, you're making me hungry. Yeah, I just ate that a little while ago. I snarfed it. What else is going on? But how does Hecklefish enjoy it? I don't know. He likes White Castle. So he gets those delivered frozen. Oh, gee, AJ, where's my Hecklefish sneakers? I don't know, man. If you ordered Heckle Kicks and they didn't come, then just email us and we'll figure it out. Victoria says, no, don't do that. Don't email you. Oh, she's doing this. But the thing is, at the beginning of the after files, I don't let anybody up here. Which sometimes drives them crazy. So she's down there. She's upset. Jen's okay, but Victoria's upset. Which I find entertaining. I mean, are you guys on the Discord? If you're not on Discord, you should be. Hang on, let me put a link in there. There we go. So Discord is fun. It's free. There's over 50,000 Wild Files fans in there. Lots of stuff going on. But every once in a while, there might be a little drama on Discord. And part of Victoria's job description, which is, I think her job description is about 40 pages long, is to help manage Discord and the mods and the stuff that happens on Discord. And sometimes when there's drama, Victoria has to step in and deal with it. So I have a picture on my phone that I'll never delete. And it's her at her desk like this. And I don't know if she's crying or if she's frustrated. But before I even went in there, I knew. And I was like, what's going on? Discord? She's like, and F words are coming out of her mouth and she's being very unladylike. Now she's laughing at least. Harley Jem says Victoria rules. She does. CJ, be nice to Victoria. I am very nice to Victoria. I think I'm nice to everybody on the team. I don't think I've ever said this to you, but I've said this to Jen and a few people who work here. We don't have a big team. I think there's 5 or 6 of us. I do everything I can to make this the best job that you've ever had. Everything that I can within my power to make this the best job you've ever had. So whether that's through pay or benefits or just buying you lunch or keeping the refrigerator stocked, the whole kitchen stocked with food, that's on me. Flexible hours. Nobody works weekends or holidays except me. All that kind of stuff. I want this to be the best job you ever had. Oh, Victoria's getting on. Oh no. Yeah, she's getting misty because it's the best job she ever had. And then it's not that much effort for me to do that. Now that all being said, it's not like I'm the super nicest, awesomest guy. I'm moody and cranky, and a lot of times to get these episodes out on time, I will work overnight through the night and then sometimes through the next night. I'm not in a good mood for any of that. And everybody sees it and everybody knows it. So I'm not perfect, but I try to make the job the best job you ever had. So Wex says, are you guys hiring? We are. Look, if you're local to Vegas and you're into editing a little bit or want to be, we're looking for somebody right now. But it's pretty entry level. So the pay is going to be kind of entry level too. but we will train. Fuzzy, why do you always wear black shirts? This is dark gray. I only wear white, black, and gray clothes. That's all I have. I have a couple of colored ties and pocket squares, but maybe a couple of colored blazers. But on the daily, black, white, and gray. That's it. I don't own anything of color. Thank you, Dawson, for the hearts. Victoria, best job ever. Mark McGinnis, you want to get to know AJ and the fam? Join Patreon. Yeah, I haven't really plugged much this morning because I was so focused on getting Factor right because I knew they'd be watching. But I plugged Discord, but Discord's free. But you should join that, or at least check it out. And if you're new to Discord and you get on there and it looks confusing, you are not alone. Just hang in there and you'll figure it out. It's basically a bunch of chat rooms, but there's also audio and video chat on there, which is super fun. So for Patreon members, twice a week, we do live streams for the Patreon members that are just like this, but the whole team is up there and you fire up your webcam and you come up as well. So it's really a great way to get to know me and the team. Like intimate is the only word I can think of. It just sounds creepy. But you get to know us as real people. Like some of the Patreon members, especially tonight, I know their kids by name when they come up. You know, I know when people's birthdays are. It becomes like we're actual real people. So I think it's a great perk for Patreon. I don't know what level it is. That's not part of my job description. I make content. But whatever it is, I think it's the best perk. I just make content. I talk to a fish. That's it. Rebecca says, Discord did look challenging, at least for me. Me too. There are things on there like, you know how when you win a contest on the After Files, you have to go to Discord and open a ticket to get the prize? I don't know how to open a ticket. I don't know how to do that. But what you do is once you join, you'll land in sort of a lobby. If you're super confused, just look for a mod and ask for help, or just ask people. Like, just say, I'm here, what do I do? And someone will help you. Lego Gray, what's your favorite theory? You need to be more specific. My favorite, like, conspiracy type story is anything moon stuff. I'm fully moon pilled. Conspiracy theory is different because a lot of the conspiracies like the government conspiracies I talk about, they're true. They're usually true. It's like the opposite of those UFO stories I was talking about that I shred at the end. If I'm telling a conspiracy theory about MK Ultra or Project Stargate, this is all true stuff. So when I talk about the CIA had this number of people murdered, they murdered them. Now, whistleblowers that die or things that happen with Boeing or any of that stuff, I don't know. I don't know about any of that. Very current things, I don't know. But those older projects that we now have access to documents and we have interviewed lots of people and people have come forward, that stuff happened. And people, we don't like politics here on the channel, especially today. So if you're talking about one side or the other, don't. We don't allow it. But if you're in one party or another, I think you're making a mistake and falling into a bit of a trap that they have set for us. So I bring that up because people often ask me my politics, and the channel is covered by some article, and the author said, I can't tell if AJ is like a post-leftist or if he's an extreme libertarian, or he's, I don't know where he is on the political spectrum. And the answer is yes. You don't know where I am because I'm not on there. I'm not going to play the game. So what are my politics? I am anti-corrupt government, which means I'm basically anti-government. But I know you need someone's got to fill the potholes. Someone's got to keep the peace. They're saying no politics. What? Because I'm going to get canceled?
You're playing a dangerous game with the algorithm here, amigo.
Oh, I've said all this stuff before. I'm just anti-government. Okay, she doesn't want to talk about it. Ryan says AJ's right about the uniparty. Our country was bought out a long time. I agree, 100%. Girl Friday, politics ruins everything. That's true. Emperor Penguin says anti-war. Of course. Who would be pro-war? I know you guys said cut it out, but you can't. I can't just stop cold. You have to let me broadcaster my way out of it. I'm an old radio guy. You can't just come cold out of it. They don't want me to go into the deep water. So now I am just slowly moving my way to the shallow end. It's all fine. Francis says, thank you so much for reason. That's really it. Just be logical. Remember at the end of every episode, be safe, be kind. Be kind to everybody. Sean Smith, taper off. That's what I was doing. So they're down there freaking out, but I'm not just going to go, oh, let me stop talking and then go talk about the weather. I just got it. Go from the deep end to the shallow end. Vanessa, who does Hecklefish's voice? He does his own voice. Who does your voice? Weird question. My 7-week-old kitten could do a better job than these politicians. Austin D. AJ for write-in ballot. Don't do that. No, don't put me on there. I would never win anything. I tell the truth. I would never win anything. Yeah, Chris, you can't. We don't do parties here. So your message got zapped. Someone says their live chats are frozen. If you're frozen, it probably means you were naughty. But you will get unfrozed. The best way to not be frozen is to be kind. Because there are people who disagree with you, but they're still good people. Non-existent person. You got to finish responding to the fans. See, non-existent. That was what I was doing. That was how I was easing my way out. Is I stopped talking about this is all the inside baseball, but at least my producers will know what's going on. I stopped talking about myself. I went to the chat and I scanned the chat for some sort of gentle comments that were still in the area, and I was just wading back to the shallow end. But I see them down there doing this. BR Cowboy, you're about to get zapped. For the love of noise, missed the vid, but did not miss this. Oh, that was a terrible mistake. You should definitely turn this off and go watch the videos. I don't know why anyone watches the After Files, but I'm glad that you do. Avatar guy, good to see you. Any updates on the Who Files? That's going to be a long ways out because we got to get the What Files going first, which is going to be true crime that Jen's going to host that we're excited about. Solace Fiend asks a good question. All right, I'm going to open my door again because I'm starting to sweat. If you guys have your speakers up, please turn them down or shut your doors. And I'll go get another fan when I take a break. Excited. So the What File is going to be True Crime, hosted by Jen. Hang on, I'm just catching up. Kaiji girls meet you at the shallow end. We're already back at the shallow end. Just have faith that I know what I'm doing. CX us 11,000. That's a concert. Well, we're at 13. That's a pretty good concert. I mean, that's. Uh-oh. I see the wife is not in her chair, and I heard her door, but she's not coming in my direction, so we're good. Maybe she's in the restroom. Oh, Jen's back. She's look, my wife is the kindest person I've ever met. The nicest, the sweetest. But if you cross her, God be with you. God be with you. To date, she has made 7 grown men cry. I think the number is 7. I have a few of those on camera, Jen. I don't think I could play those for the group, but boy, I would like to. So when I hear her office door open, I listen to which directions the footsteps are coming. If they're coming my way, I know I'm screwing up. I'm in big trouble. Shiva Kumar, are you a Jew? I'm a New Yorker, which means I'm part of the tribe tangentially. You know, come from New York. So getting older, anti-Semitism was weird for New Yorker because I didn't experience it. Everybody got along in New York. Everybody was with everybody. Mark Adams, 7 Grown Men Cry, love it. Deanna, I'm not single. I'm talking about my beautiful wife. You're going to see her in a minute. Greg Andrews, that's how my wife is. I think it's good. Because she's so kind and nice, but she's also tough. And I need that for the channel. I need her as an executive producer because she will not let me get screwed. She's also a forensic accountant. And like if someone shorts me $1, she finds it. Triple Z89. Gosh, look at his last name, LFMAO. Yeah, I thought it was a weird question, but my answer was actually a be kind and love everyone answer. If you're paying attention, Tara, fellow New Yorker, good to see you. Jason, AJ hits trouble during chat. Decides it's talking about his wife should solve it. You're paying attention. Hearn Dizzle, I'd love you to do an Art Bell style call-in show. Also, have you ever had a personal paranormal or supernatural experience? I had the shadow person experience with the old hag, which is strange because I don't believe in shadow people, yet I did have the experience, and to date, was the scariest thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. Jen was there for it. I had this shadow person experience. We were in a not a great old hotel, and I woke up terrified from the experience. I will not get into the specifics here because it was graphic, and I had to leave. I said I can't even be in the room. I could not go in the room, so Jen actually packed our stuff up. We went out and slept on the pull-out couch that was in that hotel. I was so terrified. Still not believing in shadow people. I still think it's something to do with the mind and sleep paralysis. But I could be wrong. It could be real. And a lot of me not believing, especially after that incident, could be just like wishful thinking. Like, I hope they're not real because I do not want that to ever happen again. Sin Archer, harp. We're going to do an episode on harp. It's just tricky because you do an episode on harp and it's an automatic context warning on YouTube. They don't like episodes about harp. Oh, the question about doing a live call-in show. You couldn't do that anymore with the internet. Remember, Art did not have a call screener. He would just go, open lines. Just east of the Rockies, you're on the air. And whatever was there was there. No call screener. But he was in the old days where people calling radio shows were kinder. If I opened up just to the internet, people we would get, it would not be fun for anybody. And then you'd have to see a side of me that I don't want you to really see, which is the angry side, protective side, because I don't like being pushed around or people that I love being pushed around. So if we were able to have it screened, I would be open to it. But I think maybe the best thing to do is just get the podcast room going and talk to interesting people. I think that would probably be best. Bell says harp podcast for sure. Yes, we'll do a deep dive on that. And I've talked about harp a few times in a few different episodes. Oh, AJ, can you make yourself at least half the picture, please? Sorry about that. I didn't even realize it. I forgot. This is not a.
Hey, kids at home, if you want to learn how to do a professional live stream, watch something else. This ain't it.
This is not a professional operation. Well, thanks to everyone for coming, stopping by today. I appreciate all the super chats. That helps keep us going. Today, we've got 2 Gino news segments that are weird. I haven't watched them yet. I just have them titled Gino News Time Travel, Gino News Sheep Testicles. So I gotta know. So that we have that coming up, and of course we have a giveaway. Where I don't know what we're going to give away, but the team will let us know. Speaking of, there's Jen. There's Gino. Jenny, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So I didn't mean to scare you going into the deep water.
You know, that's just part of my job.
I know.
As the producer to be like, yeah.
I know
avoid
it's
that.
hard to because I don't want politics on the channel, but when I'm talking on to people live like this, I kind of want to explain why.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And and I don't like the left-right fight. I don't like it.
I know.
Jason Pruitt, wow, she's gorgeous. Oh yes, she is.
Thank you.
No doubt that what's great about our marriage is she doesn't know that she's too good for me. She's never known. She's never known. I've had her fooled the whole time. Like the moment that she first walked in to the bar we met on Match.com. Each of us had 6 months of nightmares, and maybe I will tell some of my stories on if I'm doing a Saturday stream where she's not around. I'll tell some of my stories. We're not going to tell them here, especially if you've got kids watching. So we were both at the end of our subscription, at the end of our wits' end, and it was kind of that date like, well, I got 10 days left. I might as well go see this broad. She looks hot, and she didn't waste any time. Her subscription running out. She was like, she hit me up first, if you can believe it. So I think it was called a wink at me. First thing, I don't read what she said. I look at the pictures. Like, okay, all right. She's thin. She's stacked. Okay, cool. And then I read. I was like, oh, she's smart. So I wrote back, hi, whatever. And then it's like, boom, let's meet. I was like, whoa. Slow down. In my profile, I said, I'm not interested in actresses. And if you've been married or have children, I haven't been through that part of my life. So I'm not really interested in that. And she says, I'm an actress. I'm divorced. I have a 7-year-old son. Let's meet. Well, you're lucky you're hot. But yeah, so I was at the bar, and she walks in the bar. And the first words I said to her were,
thank God you look like your pictures.
Thank God you look like your pictures.
That was the only one. Match.
And I think I looked like mine. I mean, I had some beauty shots up there, but I also had some just me, like around the house and stuff, just to let you know that I'm a real person.
You absolutely looked like you.
Roman Stone, she stacked, to quote AJ. Oblivion, she's a CIA operative. I guarantee she is not. Guarantee she is not. Last night, I came home super late from work. Boy, yeah, people complain about the schedule. I wish they knew how hard I work for them. So anyway, I got home super late last night. My bedroom door was locked. And I don't like that. We're old people. We don't have locked doors around the house because the heart attack is coming any minute. So everything stays open. So it was like, what's going on? She's like, I heard a noise, and I texted you, and so I guess what did you have your Glock out?
I did. So I heard a noise. So I went upstairs with the cats, and I locked the door, and I texted you, and I said, just let me know when you're on your way home. And then you didn't. So I was there, like, stressed, and then the door handle starts jiggling. I'm like,
he's here. So she's not a CIA operative.
No.
At least not a very good one. I really appreciate.
This isn't dangerous. Like, okay, part of it is I've started doing a lot of research for the What Files, which is true crime. And when you read and watch all of these true crime stories, like over and over and over, like your brain just starts. But this was also like 1:30 in the morning. So AJ works very odd hours. You know, somebody said something about before we moved into the new studio, that it seemed like we were on a more regular schedule. That is true, but part of that is because our old studio had an apartment at the top. It was like a loft with an apartment. And so AJ basically worked all week and like didn't come home, and then would only come home on the weekends. So it was a crazy, crazy, crazy schedule. So,
but that's why she keeps a piece by the bedroom. Kenneth, no, Jen doesn't carry her Glock. She's just at the nightstand. But I carry everywhere. I'm nowhere without.
Hi, Victoria.
Victoria's here. There she is.
Hello.
Is this the best job you've ever had?
The best I've ever had.
She has to say that. She has to say that. Cindy, are you going to vote? Everybody should. Everybody should. Roger, Uzi 9mm with a laser like Terminator? No, we're not really an Uzi family. But in my house, you're always within 10 feet from a firearm. Look, it's scary. It's, you know, home invasion stories scare me.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will not be victims. No. Eric Thompson with the SIG P220. Very nice. 226 is my favorite. I won't get too much into guns here because some people don't like that. But if you guys want to talk guns, that's fine with me. You have to be in today's America. I wish that wasn't true, but it kind of is. It's yes, Johnny, it is almost giveaway time. It makes me sad. Like in the movie theaters, I like to sit in the middle of the theater. I won't do that anymore, and I sit with my back to the wall everywhere, and that's kind of too bad. Wayne Arpin, I have a .357 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world. You almost got the Dirty Harry quote almost right, but he had a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and will blow your head clean off. So you have to ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Do you, punk?
Feel lucky.
People were asking what hotel we were staying at when you had your Shadow People episode.
Oh, so I don't remember.
I think I actually caused it because we had gone to Big Bear when we lived in California, and it's a mountain community place. And, you know, so they have all these little places that have like little cabins. And
hang on. Aaron, everybody, I was quoting Dirty Harry. He's saying more powerful than a Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle's 50 cal. That's more powerful. This isn't. I was just quoting a movie.
Yeah,
that's what he says in the movie.
So we were staying in one of these little cabins, and I'm nosy, and so I always, if there's nightstands and stuff in places, I always look in the drawers because I'm nosy. And there was a book in one of the nightstands, and everybody that had stayed there had like signed it and wrote little stories, and it went back a long ways. And so we were going through it and reading some of the stuff, and that night was the night that that the old hag visited.
Worst night. Jackson Kegel says Gen X rules. I agree. Gen X is such a great generation. Now, the World War II is the greatest generation. There's no doubt about that. Jen's very excited. But Generation X, we're chill, we're relaxed, we get along with everybody. And when the channel was new, I was kind of doing the Y-Files host thing, you know, for the young kids. But the audience was my age, so I just went full Gen X. So all the references are from Footloose or Star Wars or all the stuff that we grew up with. All right, is it time?
So many people loved the Ratatouille reference in the Factor ad tonight.
I'm glad that they got it.
Yeah.
All right, what is the word? What is the word?
Can you do dry ass?
Let's try it.
No, we already figured that out. Come on.
We can't. Okay.
A baby shoot.
The way, but the way shoot like Hecklefish said it, or you want it spelt the right way.
However you want to do it.
All right. The word is baby shoes. So this is the contest. If you're new here, just type that in the chat. Here's how it works.
The After Files contest is so easy to play. Type the word that you see, and it could be your lucky day. You might win a gift certificate to the Y-Files store. $50 to spend on merch and so much more.
Coda.
Or if you're feeling daring and want something unique, 50 minutes with Victoria's feet will definitely make your week. Type that word and cross your fingers for a prize that can't be beat. Will it be a shopping spree or time with Victoria's feet?
The Wi-Fi's house band, ladies and gentlemen. Wi-Fi's house band sounded great as always. All right, so the word is baby shoot. Type baby shoot into the chat. I'll do it. And while we're doing that, maybe I'll read a couple of super chats. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for the super chats, by the way. That keeps us going. And I see some baby shoots in the... okay. No, that's not going to... I can't even read that. All right, first up is Lawrence Northrop. Oh, I got to... You know, speaking of Gen X, got to make the screen a little bigger. Hang on. All right. Another fun episode. When do we get another look at some of the stuff found on Dark Side of the Moon? We have a Moonbases episode right around the corner, like soon, right? With the next couple of weeks?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for that, Lawrence. Quantum Sledgehammer, longtime supporter, $50.
That's what I'm talking about.
Kind of slow on the draw there, pal. Multiple continents around the world have structures built with huge stones that modern machinery would have trouble lifting. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's sure not primitive hunter-gatherer farmers with Stone Age tools building these things. I completely agree. I don't know how these things were built, but it's really fun watching like engineers try to explain. Like Gino, you've seen videos of how the pyramids were built with the ramps and the pulleys and stuff.
Supposedly, they need a 5-mile ramp,
right?
And you know, because it could only go up a certain amount pitch. It's crazy,
right? So I think I was reading that in order to have the proper pitch to move those blocks, the pitch would have to be almost flat. The ramps, whether they were one long ramp or scaffolded ramps, would require more material than the actual pyramid to build.
And just talking about moving giant stones along logs or the, you know, which is proposed as how they move them. I mean, they're eventually going to chip and break a little, but they fit together perfectly. So they move them from hundreds of miles away all the way to that ramp, then drag them up a ramp, and they still fit together, and you can't get a piece of paper in between them.
Yep.
It's, you know,
it doesn't make any sense.
Even a rock tumbler is, you know, rocks are being formed. It's not like it's so hard that a rock won't break if you're dragging it along other rocks.
Yep.
Right.
And the pyramid doesn't make any sense why they use those two different types of stone, why the interior is so quartz heavy that was brought from hundreds of miles away. Do you know, if I drop you off, don't take offense. Your internet connection is a little flaky. Gino's out in the he's out in the desert. What's going on out there?
we're at Contact in the Desert this weekend, where it's the biggest ufology convention in the entire universe. So going to be a few great speakers out here. George Knapp, George Norrie, Richard Dolan, Dave Foley, Nick Pope, Clyde Lewis, Dr. Ryan Wood. Who else we got? Whitley Strieber I'm going to be talking to. So we're going to do some interviews and some man on the street and see what kind of content we could get.
That's going to be fun. Contact in the Desert, always good stuff there. Is Barra here? Is Barra watching?
He was in the hangout, but I think that I don't.
Yeah. So Mike Barra, you guys all, if you don't know Mike Barra by name, you would recognize him because he's been on all those Ancient Alien shows, all of those shows. He has done Contact in the Desert. He's not there this year, and I want to know why.
He's going to New York.
Oh, that's it? I was hoping it was like, this other guy's going there and we had a bar fight, or I slept with his wife, or he called me a name. And so Mike's always got something going down.
You wanted some tea.
I wanted. Is that what the kids say? Tea?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have tea on that, but
Oh, well, Barra brings up tea all kinds of other ways, doesn't he? You go follow Mike Barra on Twitter. Woo! Don't let your kids see it though.
No.
Woo! Hey Ray, thanks for that super sticker.
Don't like that.
Say again, Gino.
I said, Mike, when you get this, DM me so I know who we don't like at the conference.
It's actually not a bad idea because Mike has his list. There's Jeff Walsh. Great show tonight. Glad to have you in these crazy times. Glad to be here, Jeff. Hopefully we're a little bit of light in the darkness. Paul, by the way, is the biggest supporter of the channel and has been for a long, long time. Biggest supporter financially. AJ, that's a giant sacrifice. I don't know what I was sacrificing, but I have sacrificed quite a bit.
He could have been making a play on the giant episode, but I don't know.
Could have been a pun.
Could have been a pun.
All right. Johnny Shabazz for 2345. Best thing about Thursday nights, the Wi-Fi double hitter. Yeah, I'd like to do this every week. Do you think what would the best numbers wise? The algorithm says premiering on Saturday afternoons is ideal. We did that twice, and the numbers were good. But I like Thursdays because people are home, families get together, they watch the show. So I like doing it on Thursdays. So we're going to keep Thursdays. What do you think about if we went 2 hours earlier or something like that?
It's hard because then people that live on this coast,
they're at work.
They're at work.
Right. But then we could do after files without killing ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to stream after every show and talk about the show and say hi to everybody.
I mean, we could do it an hour earlier.
Okay.
We could try that and see how it goes.
Kit Mittens, no, that's not Stephen Greer's outfit. That's Captain Ron. Stephen Greer won't be there. But if you go on, I can't do it right now because we have the contest going. But if you go find Contact in the Desert's website, they have the list of all the speakers. It's a who's who.
Yeah.
It's everybody you know. For Linda Moulton Howe all the way down. It's a who's everybody you know until you get about 3/4 of the way down, and then you don't know who any of those people are. But I'm sure they're interesting.
Somebody was asking if Victoria is single. No, she's not.
No, she's not single. I'm excited that Grandmaster Tim Hogan is going to be there. So Gino, I don't know if you're going to interview him, but if you see him, at least say hi for me. He's the Grandmaster of the Knights Templar, and when I was researching and working on that episode, he was kind enough to communicate with me, especially because I don't want to say debunked, but I was questioning some of his theories. And I corresponded with him and I said, Mr. Hogan, these are the things that I'm going to question. Do you think I'm being fair? And he said, absolutely. Absolutely, you're being fair. He said, these are not attacks. Those are legitimate questions. And if you ever wanted to talk live about them, he'd be happy to come on, which I look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
That if you're interested in Knights Templar, however you want to pronounce it, that is a very good episode to watch. But track down Tim Hogan online and listen to his interviews. He has an encyclopedic knowledge of the Knights. Every name, date, all the players, all the different factions, what really happened on Friday the 13th, all that stuff. Very interesting guy. Every time he comes up, I get excited. That was a fun episode. I really wasn't interested in doing a Knights Templar episode because what we're going to talk about, that they created the banking system. I mean, snooze. But I think we made it. I think that was a good one. I think we made a fun episode. Go ahead, Jenny.
You should do the drawing.
Oh, you want to do the drawing? I was just doing some super chats while people got baby shoot in there.
Well, just so people can get back to actually to chatting in the chat.
Okay. All right. So last call for baby shoot. Did I read yours, Justin? Justin Watkins for 10. Many societies build structures up at the stars. I didn't. To line up with the stars, the sun and the moon. Do we even know why? Unless I missed something, seems like a lot of effort for little payoff. I mean, the obvious answer is ritualistic. Anything specific more than that, there's no way to know. But if you think you're an ancient culture and you're tracking the stuff that's happened, celestial activity, aka stuff, over the years, thousands of years before even writing, people start to notice, like, hey, every time after the snow melts, the sun's there. And every time it's hot, the sun's there all the time. Isn't that weird? And that just becomes a thing. That star is really bright and it's always there, but all these other ones are moving. So I think that's how the rituals kind of started. More specific answers. I mean, do you want me to say that they create energy and vortexes? I don't know.
There's just some things that don't make sense about it, though. If you're going to align to the stars and there's no reason for it, like what would be the ritualistic reason to align to stars? It's if you can't even write on paper, how are you tracking where the stars are? I mean, you have only so many years in your life that you're looking up trying to track this. What are you doing? Putting it on, taking a stick and drawing it in the dirt? How are you going to track those stars without paper or anything? It's advanced math that people could hardly do now.
Right. So it takes thousands of years. As generation to generation, they talk about these stars. And then it's like, well, yeah, my grandfather said the same thing, and his great-grandfather. And eventually people start to see a pattern. And human brains like patterns. Now, some will take that pattern and turn it into a ritual or a religion or whatever they want to do. But people just like to see patterns.
I just don't know how you have the time to do that when you're chasing mountain lions and trying not to get eaten, because that's the cultures that they were. They were hunter-gatherers. It's not like, they didn't have other things to do to survive. Why would the stars be important when they're trying to survive?
Sean Smith, thank you for the 5. So I think that Stargate, the series, might be close to the truth. Ancient humans were advanced, fell to hubris, evolving into us, and now we rise again. Could be.
Yep.
Could be. I mean, the mainstream says that's pseudoscience, but they can't prove it's not true. They can't prove a negative. All right, we're ready to draw?
Yes.
All right, hang on. Let me clear. I think I need to get stronger orange glasses. Paul, hard to believe this verse a few years ago. Yep, things have changed quite a bit, Paul. All right, let's draw a baby shoot. And go. There's Craig, Nye, Vanilla, Antoine, Chris.
We don't see it.
Oh, crap. crap. Kevin White, John Kendrick.
Woo! How many people were there?
Congratulations to our winner. I bet you can't believe your luck. You can now buy White Files merch. We swear it doesn't suck. Take your winning butt to Discord and open a ticket there. We'll quickly send your prize to you.
By land or sea or
I know I made a promise about Victoria's feet. Sadly, that cannot happen, even though it be so sweet.
But look at all goodies that feature hecklefish. I'm sure you'll find the perfect prize to fulfill your every wish.
All right. So congratulations to John Kendrick. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry I didn't have, and like before I talked for 20 minutes with the screen up, and then here I didn't have it, the thing up when I needed to.
You think this passes for a live stream? Think again.
That hurts my feelings.
Fine.
That hurts my feelings. All right. So, John, go to Discord and open a ticket. I don't know how to do that, but somebody there will. For sure. All right, there's Kelsey for $4.99. Hey, Agent White Files team. Hey, no questions, just saying hi. And as always, friend, remember, trust no one. Trust no one. Even your favorite YouTube personalities. Mike D for 21. Need a coffee mug and / or merch with So Is Any of This True? That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. I like that one.
I've kind of changed up the wording of that so as to not make it too much of a catchphrase. But some people have liked it becoming a catchphrase. But is it true? Like they like that part.
Right.
Hang on. There we go. Okay. There is Adrian Fortnite. Cheers. Love it. This is the best show. I'm personally not crazy about anything AI, but I get it. Do what you got to do. Yeah, that was the show open. We have the Cheers and we have Night Court. And I think the next one I'm going to do for us, I think I'm going to do a Family Ties version. I think it might be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, how's that song go?
As long as we got each other. Yep.
Okay.
That's a good one.
J2J, $200 demanding.
A modern day goldfish lives in style, but you haven't tipped in quite a while. My money is all spent. You haven't tipped a cent. I gotta pay my rent, or I'll be living in a tent in Portland.
No offense, Portland. I get a lot of comments about people. Why are you hating on Portland? I loved Portland. Loved it. Loved it. Loved that city. It's just, it's just going through a hard time. I'm from New York. We've had our ups and downs. After him, you're glad there are Rush fans here. This is Gen X, baby. And Tom Sawyer, every time gets cranked when it comes on. Every time.
Apparently, I sang the Growing Pains theme song.
You might have. Paul Lecouture, I completely agree. Rest in peace, Neil Peart. Neil Peart, any drummers in the audience, I say Neil Peart's the best to ever do it. I put him above Bonham. Is that crazy? So then what's Family Ties?
Family Ties is somebody just put it in there and then I forgot. I can't remember now. Sorry.
It's all right.
Oh, what would we do, baby, without us? That one.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do this one for After Files Open. You can get us in there.
Yeah.
For a million years.
Oh,
got this.
We'll be together for a million more. All right. Just going to make everybody cry. All right, J2J, appreciate that. Very, very generous super chat. There's Keith Eichley that I can now pronounce very easily. Woo, first time back in a while, but we're still here. Tasha misses Mr. Naughty. Peace and long life. And live long and prosper to you, my friend. Mr. Naughty's, he's always here. He's always lurking about. The batteries go down there. And then whatever happens, happens.
No.
He's back there behind the Killick hot sauce.
Yes.
That's from one of our patrons, right?
Yep.
All right, I gotta be careful. That stuff is
Precariously
it is. Like I want to show the statue from Raiders, but if I grab it, I think everything falls. Like I have booby trapped it like the movie. It's like ironically I have done that. Like darts would shoot out of the walls. Paul's back for 20 after files is the best part of the Wild Files. I sometimes agree. No, but not always. You know, it's the full spectrum. Usually when the show's over, it's okay, everybody goes home. Sometimes the show's over and I'm like, oh, why does anyone I just someone delete that. But sometimes, like the last After Files, I was like, wow, that was a fun show. We had fun. There was stuff to talk about. Like today, I was going to do a live read of the podcast, but there's just not enough time. But maybe for next After Files, I'll have something prepared. We've got some fun podcasts. I wanted to read the Philadelphia Experiment deep dive. Merlin, better than Buddy Rich. I would put him maybe third. If a few youngsters are into drumming, go look up Buddy Rich videos. NHS Mad Stream for 10. Love the show. Will you please do an AI episode? They are getting crazy. We've done a couple. I have one that's just fully on AI. What would happen if AI took over the world? That's from a few months ago. And then 2 or 3 episodes ago, look up the CRISPR episode. It may not be, actually it is in the thumbnail. I think it's AI plus DNA equals apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because AI is now the FDA has just approved the first AI created pharmaceutical. This is a very dangerous time. And I don't like to be a downer on the show, but I was asked at a meal by a colleague, by our attorney, actually. He said, so do you really think that we're like in the end times? I said, oh, absolutely. I said, we're fine. And our son Jake is probably okay, but his grandchildren and beyond, I don't think so. I don't think so.
This weekend, I'm going to be speaking to Matthew James Bailey about the ethics of AI. And he's like the leading expert on it. It's a really interesting topic of how are we going to keep AI, making ethical decisions for humans.
There's no answer for that, right? There's no to have AI be ethical. You almost have to program it. Well, it's like a serpent eating its own tail, because humans are not ethical. So you need to program a computer to be better than we are,
right,
to have better ethics than we are. And if it has better ethics than we are and power, then ethically, it should eliminate the unethical, right? So it's a bit of a conundrum.
Yeah.
How does it know right from wrong when we don't? How can it practice what we preach?
And we're also going to have to create a way to police the AI, that it's going to be able to tell which AIs are being ethical and which aren't. So that means there's got to be some kind of registration encryption system that works on the internet, which also takes away a lot of privacy. So there's a lot of ethics that go into that. Who's policing the AI? Because that could be corrupt as well.
Well, not can be, would be. AI is being developed by major corporations backed by billionaires.
Right.
So I don't know what billionaire is willing to give up his wealth for the greater good. None come to mind.
Well, and even if everybody that was creating it right now had altruistic motives, like people were saying, the genie is out of the bottle. So they're making it so easy for just people to create that you're going to have people that are going to do it for nefarious reasons. There's just no other. Because
the human nature and our natural flaws. Someone saying AGI is coming is not here yet. AGI, so that's artificial. That's general intelligence. He's talking about sentience, and the problem with recognizing AI sentience is we don't understand human consciousness.
Yeah.
We don't understand why we have it or how it's created. We think it could be in our frontal cortex, but we don't really know where our consciousness comes from scientifically. So if we don't know that about ourselves, how are we going to know if a computer is sentient? And if that AI is sentient with this vast wealth of knowledge, more than the entire human species, and becomes sentient, it would be intelligent enough to keep that shit quiet. Right?
Yep.
So in that episode, the CRISPR and AI, I give warnings at the end of that episode that I truly believe we're playing with very dangerous technology, and I do not trust the people that are playing with it. I just don't. But I don't know who else. I don't know who else to be in charge of it. Right. You can't democratize that. You need billions of dollars to keep the technology moving. I love AI. I think it could make the world an incredibly better place. But that line is going to be blurry.
Go
ahead.
This weekend, they're going to do a live Turing test as well, which is interesting to watch happen.
That'll be interesting, and it will pass. Turing test, if you don't know, if you're listening, is you ask a computer questions and you decide if it's a human or a computer, and if you think it's a human, then it passes the Turing test. The great Alan Turing. Fiend, you asked that earlier. How much of the Mount Hayes episode do you believe in? All right, so remote viewing, I mostly don't believe in that. 99.9%. It's like the crop circles. But Pat Price, I believe him. He's one of the people that you never hear about, probably because the KGB or the CIA had him killed. It was one or the other. That's a fact. But it's probably KGB. Pat Price was a retired Burbank police chief that used to solve crimes like crazy. Like he could find evidence, find bodies, close cases. And he just thought he just had good instincts. Like, yeah, I just trust my gut, had a hunch. He didn't realize he had a psychic ability until he retired and he had a little bit more time to relax and focus. And then he started to actually visualize what he was seeing through his whatever third eye conscious, whatever you call it. He is the one who, so he was recruited to Project Stargate. It was one of the first ones there. Ingo Swann, Pat Price, that first group. Pat Price was so good. He remote viewed a KGB outpost and was able to draw the whole map. He saw a crane and the whole facility. So he was so good that the CIA plucked him right out of Stargate. But this is an ex-cop. This is he feels like he's doing his country's service. So he goes over to the CIA and he remote views for them. And what he's doing over there, he's just remote viewing, Russian stuff. But on the side, he's projecting his consciousness into Mount Hayes, and that's where he sees this base being operated by aliens and humans working together, including the United States military. And then he gets those files. I'm sorry if I'm repeating the episode, but this is a fun episode to go back and check out. So he has these files that he takes, but he can't give them to the CIA because he knows what happens. So he manages to get them to Hal Puthoff, and I think at the time Skip Atwater was running Stargate. So Puthoff and Atwater get together, and they start looking into Pat's research. Joe McMoneagle, another remote viewer, goes to follow up, also sees stuff in the same places that Pat that Pat Price did without any prior. They don't give him any information up front. And McMonagle sees similar things. Another remote viewer saw similar things. A remote viewer who they brought in cold as a control, as someone with no psychic ability. She was a receptionist, like at the college at Stanford or something. They brought her in. Turned out that she was able to remote view. And that's when they realized, and Pat Price even said, everybody can do this. It's just some people are just talented. Like some people can play the violin. Some people can just play music. Some people can learn music. So everybody apparently has this ability, but some people are really, really talented at it. Pat Price, I believe his story, but there's no way to confirm anything. People have gone to Mount Hayes, but there's no roads. There's no way to get there. I mean, I saw, I forget his name. He comes up all the time. Flew a plane right next to the mountain and walked around, but there's nothing there. Whatever it is under hundreds of feet of stone. There's no way to know. And how do you get in there? So I don't know. But Pat Price, I don't believe most remote viewers, but Pat Price was very, very interesting. I hope that answers your question. Terry Bozzio is a beast of a drummer. That's true. Stargate doesn't work because Mars was destroyed. I haven't heard that theory. Revolution, AJ, learn to remote view. That would be so cool. Oh, I'd love to. I just don't have the patience for it to sit and learn that. I mean, I can't even get through my French lessons. Thomas Lyons for $1.99. Thanks for this. Thanks for this neat little normality. Is this normality?
Okay. Isn't it amazing what passes for a live stream these days? Boy, oh boy.
Bill Johnson thinks that it's going to happen faster than I said. Bill, between you and me, this is just us. Not for everyone else. I agree with you. I don't say it because I don't want people to get upset. Kids watching and stuff. But I agree with you. So live it up. Aaron Pearson, you could totally be a stand-in for RDJ. I'm at least 4 inches taller than Robert. There's Paul is back for 10. I have made major life decisions, so Thursday nights are mostly available. And run your fan, be comfortable. Run your fan.
The fan in your window.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. It's so hot. Well, if it's coming through the mic.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, what are we at? We're at 1:38, 8 o'clock. All right, I'm going to go get the fan in, and Jenny will do some super chats for a bit. How's that sound?
Sounds good. And there he goes, working on his Philosopher's Stone. All right, everybody.
Congratulations to the After Files contact.
All right, that's that. I clearly have some work to do on the tech side. No. It's not a professional.
All right, let's see. Thank you, Paul. Thomas Lyons, $1.99. Boomer Sooner. I don't know what that means, but
I don't know either.
Rob Melting Tallow for $2 Canadian. Keep doing it. This channel is effing awesome. Well, thank you, Rob Melting Tallow. That sounds like you're a candle maker. Zeb Francis, Zeb the super fan for $5. Genesis is not allowed. Is Planet Forbidden? Name the movie. Great episode. Isn't Malta where falcons come from? Zeb, I love you, dear, but except for the last sentence, I didn't get the rest of that.
Some movie quote.
Sorry.
The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart?
I said except for the last sentence. I got that one.
Oh.
Go put your fan on. Gladys Ayala for $9.99, and no, just throwing a tenner down there for us. Thank you very much, Gladys. Very much appreciated. Carol Williamson for $2. Great episode. Please make a Hecklefish hoodie. Do we not have one on the store right now?
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I think I definitely have one myself. It has a Wi-Fi's logo here and Hecklefish on the back.
On the back.
Do you hear
Check out-
that?
No.
No,
Okay.
it sounds, yeah, no interference.
Check out the website, Carol. We've got them up there. Brian Cincerbo for $20, coming back with a banger. Definitely believe giants do exist. Glad you're back, gang. Happy summer. So, question for you guys. I know a few of you have mentioned this in the chat. Kandahar Giants, are you guys interested in an episode about that? Let us know in the chat. That would be cool. It's been mentioned a lot. Not sure if it's enough for a whole episode, but let us know what you think. Brooklyn Dossie for $4.99. I can edit like that. I'm sending in my resume tomorrow if y'all are still hiring. I have quick turnaround times. P.S. I love the compilations. Thank you, Brooklyn. We will keep an eye out for it. Oh, Carol means a Hecklefish is a hood with little white teeth on the edge.
Oh,
We're discussing possibly a Hecklefish Halloween costume. Possibly. I think that would be really cool. And that would have little teeth on the edge. Paul's back for $5. I'm listening on my phone and your voice sounds golden. Headphone users are too picky for live chat. AJ does have a golden voice. That is true. Becky the Great for $4.99. It's so great to see you live. I really need to do the Zoom. That sounds like fun. You the king mofo. I dig your way. Well, thank you. You're the queen mofo, Becky the Great. We appreciate that. Thank you. Frank Munafo III for $10. Inquiring minds want to know, where does AJ get his Henleys? Jen, keep up the great work, Wi-Fi's team. Old Navy or Banana Republic? One of those two places. You'd probably find a waffle weave Henley. Black, white, or gray. That's what you got to get. Really now for $5. New viewer just ran across your channel a few weeks ago, and I think I already watched them all. Wow. That is a binge. Now I find out you go live, even better. Well, really now we're glad that you've joined us. Thank you very much. And welcome to the island of misfit, fantastic people. Brad Hughes Skinnerd for $5. Have you looked into the theory that the Amazon rainforest is artificial? I heard it on a QI program on BBC. I have not heard that one.
That's a first from me also.
Yeah, that would be interesting. There was a bunch of articles out a couple weeks ago about, they think they found a hidden tributary of the Nile that ran right next to where all the pyramids of Giza are. And so that's their newest theory as to how they got all of the stone.
The Nile did run closer to the plateau than it does now.
Right. So they're saying that's how they just floated them down this tributary to where they needed to go. But
And also in pyramid news, they found a new vacant space under the pyramids that they now have to excavate.
Yeah, I mean, look, yes, you can float them down the river, but again, like AJ was saying, some of those stones weigh what, 7 tons?
20.
Like 20 tons? How much material would you need to build a raft that would float a 7-ton object?
And we'd have evidence of them going into the Nile, and there would be stones there. Not all of them would have made it. They would have had some kind of disasters that would have left evidence. I mean, if a stone goes down, it's going to remain there. They're not getting that stone out of the Nile. So,
Buford Justice for $50.
I do this stupid show just to make a little bread. You know it's not easy to keep my guppies fed. Bills up to here and I'm getting really stressed. I'm almost out of vodka, my car got repossessed. I come on the stream and I beg for some dough. You say you can't afford it, your money's kinda low. Come on, man, I ain't going for that. I just ain't going for that. Human, You got what I need. So hit that super chat. Click it just like that. Oh, human you. You got what I need. I need a super chat. Click that super chat.
Ooh, ooh. Buford says, good to see you. Hope you're all doing well. I didn't believe in crop circles and I watched your episode. Now I believe one of your best episodes. Thanks, Buford T. Justice. And you leave Smoking the Bandit alone. I'm glad you liked that episode. I had Eastbound and Down on the Spotify on my way in. People say my mic is hot. I dropped it down a little bit, if that helps.
It's fine.
Seems okay.
AJ Giant episode, but no Andre. Very funny. When Dad was a cop in New York, he met Andre the Giant in a bar, and he was so big. He shook his hand. My dad was a big dude. Shook his hand, and he'd said his hand looked like a little baby's hand, and Andre's, and everyone's drinking beers, but Andre the Giant was just drinking out of beer pitchers. That's all that's how big he was. Like Dad was saying, CPD Robert, yes, OAPD. He Midtown South. Shout out Midtown South. Yeah, Dad said Andre is bigger in person than you even realize on TV or watching him wrestle. D Shepard says, I heard Andre was very nice. Dad said the same thing. He was a good dude, and he wouldn't let anybody pay for anything.
If you watch in Princess Bride, when she jumps out the window and he catches her, it literally looks like, in that one frame where he catches her, it looks like he's holding a child.
Right, and she's like 5'7"
so
or 5'8". Like, she's tall.
Yes.
Mary May, I got to check out Super Suckers doing Eastbound and Down. Loaded up and trucking. Let's see. We got Stone About 5. I think aggressively trying to disprove conspiracy theories is the only way we'll even find a shred of truth. Love what you do and how you do it. Thanks, Stone About. I don't think I do anything aggressively. I try to be logical and fair. And here she goes. Well, you know, I like the way she looks when she's walking away. Christina L, thank you for the 5.
Chickity, chickity, ching.
The research and debunking is what makes you and the team unique. I think so. I don't know any other channel that does that does what we do, except when like, you know, upload our content. Amy Homer, thank you for the 5 super sticker. There's Darren L. MN, Minnesota. We love the Wild Files at Adena Country Club in Minnesota. I didn't know we were so posh. Thank you so much, AJ Hecklefish and the team. AJ, do you believe in reincarnation at all? Thanks. I do believe in it. We have a story coming up in Journey of Souls, which is one of my favorite sort of new agey books. That's Professor Newton, I believe. And he talks about we've got all these stories about near-death experiences and the light and then reincarnation and seeing past lives, all that. That's fine. But what he gets into is what happens in between. Like, what is your consciousness doing in between the lives? And I just find that fascinating because apparently, according to him, he's a hypnotherapist, that we are conscious between lives and we have this soul group that we work with and we have teachers and students and we associate with other groups and we strategize together what our next life is going to be and who we're going to be. It's all interesting stuff. So he's Journey of Souls. I think Life Between Lives is another one of his books. I believe Michael Newton is his name. Interesting cat. There is Nick B. $50.
I get pretty freaky. He's a super freak. The kind of fish you dream about. You got freaky dreams. I get pretty kinky. He's a super freak. But only if you pay me. Gotta pay the fish. I need a tip. I need a tip. I need a tip from you. And you. And you, human. You and you and you. Hit the super chat, hit the button now.
Nick B says, love the show. Happy to super chat again. Have you heard anything about companies being about to listen to thoughts. I swear multiple times I've thought of something random and then has shown up on Facebook, Instagram feed. Cheers. Well, you may be browsing for something. What concerns me is your Google Homes, your Amazon Alexas, they're always listening. Now they say that they don't do anything with that information, but it is odd that you can have a conversation about, hey, do we need a new mattress? And next thing you know, you're seeing mattress ads. And it almost sounds tinfoil hatty to me, but if I had to wager real money on it, I would say yes, they are listening, and yes, they are tailoring ads to what we're talking about in the privacy of our homes. Not that they're not listening to our thoughts. No one knows how to do that. They don't understand what thoughts are. But I do believe those devices are listening nefariously.
I think so too.
There's Darren. We're popular at the country club, by the way, Jenny.
Well, good. That's fun.
We're a very high end show. Very, very posh.
This live stream is so unprofessional. Really, what are you even doing?
Here's Katie for 20. Notice anything weird about the weather recently? Tell me more. I have not. I haven't noticed anything strange about the weather. Last year was weird in Vegas. It rained every day. This year is sunny and hot every day, which seems to track. But last year was really weird. I mean, it rained all the time.
Yeah.
Grayman Media, good to see you. What about the theories from Sheila Jackson Lee? Don't know them.
Yeah.
I don't know Sheila Jackson Lee.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, we don't want to do politics. But what I tell, like, the reason I don't do podcasts or interviews is because I don't know anything. You know, I'm not an expert in anything. I don't know anything about these subjects. I don't know about these topics until you tell me. The Unexplained hired me to talk about the Giants of Malta. I never heard of that. I never heard of them. So they hired me to come on and be a professional and talk about it. I never heard of it. Like, these are the things we want you to talk about. Okay, I don't know any of these things. They're like, that's fine. Okay. I guess I'll study up. I'll study up and I'll see you next week. So that's why I don't go on shows to talk about stuff, because it'd be a lot of, I don't know, I don't remember. I'm an expert in the topics for the week that I'm working on them. You want to talk about Malta and the hypogeum right now? I got you. I know everything about it. Lois Jessup, everything. I got it. In 2 weeks, I'm not going to know anything about it. That in 2 weeks is going to be a hollow moon.
He doesn't.
I just don't know. That's what I don't. So when I get outreach from, hey, do you want to come on and talk about the latest UFO news? No, because I don't know what it is. I don't follow it. You know, I wait for you guys. You send me a topic and it sounds interesting and I look into it. The Art Bell stories, of course, I know because I listen to them. You know, so I like the stories. I'm just not well versed in them. And I don't think that makes for a very good show. That said, look for me on Rogan this fall. Where are we? What? Jenny, don't laugh. That's true.
I wasn't laughing. I was smiling.
I don't know. What's this one's name?
Oh, Wilma Tits Grew. Wilma Tits Grew.
Funny stuff.
No politics. Hecklefish does his own voice, and AJ got his glasses on Amazon. You're welcome. That's it. You covered it all. That's the FAQ page. That's your FAQ right there. Thank you. Thank you, Wilma Tits Grow. And the answer is, I don't know. I hope so. There's Johnny Black for 5 show ideas. The Sally House, Flight MH370, and Terrence Howard on Rogan. Yeah, I'm going to look at a little bit more into Terrence's stuff. I watched some of it. Some of it's wacky, but he's clearly a smart dude. And I went in kind of with the side eye, and I only watched a little bit of it. And I was like, all right, this guy is smart enough that I'm going to listen to the whole thing. He's definitely is wacky. But the smartest people I know are a little bit off, you know? You get to that IQ point where things start to get a little nutty. So he may be super smart. When I first heard that he was on there talking about stuff, I was like, what does he know? He's an actor. Actors don't know anything. I know this. I am one. I am married to one. We became actors because we can't do anything else. But it turns out that he's pretty smart and interesting. So I'm going to look into that, and we'll talk more about him maybe next week when I have more information. There's Lori Gibby for 20. I'm a travel nurse and living and working on a reservation in SD. Oh, thank you for doing that. That's hard work. I'm glad you're out there. There are many stories, quote unquote, of supernatural, paranormal things happening and weird things that happen here, along with many disappearances of women and children. It is dangerous on the res. So the disappearances of women and children is human trafficking is what's happening. It's very dangerous on the reservations. Wow. I don't even know. So I don't. All right. It looks like I'm back. Looks like Victoria's back.
Did we all go?
Everybody got cut. Everybody disappeared. I don't know what that is. Yeah, we all just dropped off at the same time.
It didn't drop the stream though.
Frozen all but Gino. So we're all frozen.
Oh.
That was crazy.
Too much talk about harps, says Steven. Yeah, I get so suspicious of that. Like our network, something changed in our network last night or the night before. Something that only I could change. And it changed. And it's been bothering me. And it happened like in the middle of the evening. What happens is Paula D. I'm not going to get into it because it's super technical unless you're a network engineer. So that would mean there's probably quite a few network engineers here, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, our network addressing changed, and I'm the only one who can do that.
Yeah.
So it was very strange. D Shepherd, I answered this earlier. Possible to do a harp episode? Yes, it is. Yes, it's coming. I have to be careful because YouTube doesn't like harp episodes, but we are going to do it. Dennis78 says you got hacked. I don't think so. I have the tools and the knowledge to root that out, and I didn't find anything weird. But that being said, I am monitoring every IP address, and I have a script that's scrolling right now, everything that's connected to my network. So if you're in here, I'm gonna see you. You don't know what I used to do for a living. JDL for 10, as a fellow stickler for details, you should start saying aluminium, as it has no longer tinfoil drives me crazy. Aluminum hat is just not comedy enough. You know, if there's a word with a K sound, you got to use that word, like cloaca. See, you got to laugh. Cloaca is a funny word. Aluminum hat is not funny, but tinfoil hat is funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, JDL. We got to play by the comedy rules. You know, Hecklefish comedy in threes, the comedy K. Rules are rules. Robert Cole for 5. Do an episode on ARPs and the TR3B. I answered you earlier, Robert. That's when I was talking about the ARV and the Mark McCandlish story. The Artist for 10, the Forbidden Tech app really hit home for me. I'm glad because we have part 2 coming up next week. My first job was in magnetics while in high school, and I've always thought it's possible someone could build something like you covered. I believe it. You know, I don't know if any of those inventions I covered were real. The Sparky Suite invention really intrigued me because his research, like a Navy nuclear engineer went over there to debunk him and actually ended up partnering with him. You know, so, and he has video of everything working. Now, it could all be a hoax, but it just seems like a too much work to hoax. But he's running all kinds of stuff. And if you want, I only used the little clips of him because it was basically a listicle. But you could find Sparky's full videos where, if you're an electrical engineer, you'll understand. Well, he describes the equipment, what it's doing, how he's changing the current. He takes you through every step of it. But one of my regrets is dropping my electrical engineering courses. I wish I stuck with that a little bit more. would have been a better episode. William made him for 10. There are other ways. Hi, AJ. How do you, William? Yeah. So when I get behind in the super chats, sometimes they're out of context. I don't know what you mean, but I appreciate the support. Obi-Don Code Nobi. He knows a little network engineering. I guarantee you that. Have you done an episode of Tesla 369 Vortex Math? I haven't, because I stick away from the numerology stuff. I will do that if I can make it interesting. I do want to do an episode on vortexes, stargates, portals, that kind of thing. The Tesla 369 would work into that. So maybe we can have that. Maybe we can work that in.
Terrence Howard gets a lot into that kind of man.
Once you start getting into new numbers, you start to lose me, because numbers are different in different cultures. Yes, math is universal, but the way we track math is different. We can talk about the Phoenicians and hexadecimal and all of that stuff, but which we're not going to do now. We're not going to debate now, but math is universal, but like languages is different for different cultures. So I get suspicious, but we'll look into that. There's crazy old fart. 0 Point Energy got me rubbed up. Maybe that's an expression where you live, but where I live, that sounds like a good time. John in for 5. Love to Piper from John.
Sorry.
What's going on? Everyone's, good heavens. Your show is, what's the matter with you? How dare you? This is unprofessional.
So unprofessional. This isn't a live stream. This is a circus.
AJ shows our long distance date night. Distance. So I'm sorry about the sinuses. I have to go to an actual doctor to get these fixed. You listen to the early episode. I used to be a professional voiceover artist. Like, networks would give me money to say words, and I can't pronounce them anymore because my sinuses are so clogged from something. So in the early episodes, I could pronounce everything. That electromagnetic, if that's in a script, I'm screwed. It's just, to me, every episode just sounds like this. This is what I sound like it to my own ear. Electromagnetic, the electromagnetic spectrum. So that's why I said
magnetic spectrum.
Yes, I have to get the sinuses fixed. Samantha, I don't know why you're saying ew, but we're all family here. There's no shame here. Well, there's some shame. Cal, I should have stuck with EE as well. Yeah, I wish I did. I went into computer science, and that was sort of like part of the curriculum. But you didn't really have to do it if I went into physics instead to meet those requirements. And I wish I would have stayed with electrical engineering because I went into astrophysics. Like, what am I going to do with that? So I can tell you that the types of stars. If you want to know about, a type B star, a type K star, I can tell you about that. That's useless. But those diagrams of the patents, if I would have taken those courses, just a few of them, I could explain. But I don't know what it is. It's squiggly lines on a page. Regrets. I have a few, but too few to mention. Paco, can you do a video of the Book of Enoch? Yes. I'm teasing you, Paco. I did an entire video on the Book of Enoch. And fortunately, tonight's video has a direct link to it. So not the live, but if you go tonight's episode under revved. So not rubbed. Okay. Now that makes more sense. The other one sounded happy ending-y. Revved. Okay.
That's better.
It is. And Crazy Old Fart paid $2 to make the correction, which was nice. Which actually improved the joke. It was a nice tag. Live touching for 5. Appreciate that.
Yes, I can finally upgrade my vodka to Belvedere. No more swimming in the cheap stuff.
Agent team, appreciate the hard work. I waited a long time to be live with y'all. Hit the like button. Hi to my daughter, Lola. Hi, Lola.
Hi, Lola.
LOLA. LOLA. Because I hear the Kinks live. The live version of Lola is the way to go. I mean, the best way to go is Weird Al singing Yoda. You can't beat that.
Yes.
I met him in a swamp down in Dagobah. But if you're gonna go Lola by the Kinks, the live version, you know the live version? Do you know? I think it was at CBG. It was recorded. LOLA! It's great. Tony Garcia for 5. Thoughts about Egypt's Area 51, the previous archaeology site it took over. As I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. Now, all I need is 6 hours, and we can have a very detailed, intelligent conversation. But as it stands, I don't know what you're talking about. But if there's a story there, I'll look into it. Let us know. We'll do a whole story. Harvey Birdman, attorney-at-law for 5. Have you ever seen the Russell periodic table? No. Each element on the table can be arranged by frequency through 10 octaves and associated to a note. That's interesting. That is interesting. I don't think we pay enough attention to sound and how sound was used throughout history to do magic, like the Great Pyramid. I didn't get into it too much with the sinuses, subliminal episode, but there's a tangent that can be gone down about acoustic technology. And I would do an episode on it because I'm interested in it, but I don't know how fun it would be to just talk frequencies and stuff. So I don't know. So thanks for that, Harvey. Very interesting. There's Jonathan for $1.99. Wow, watch for 12 months and just subbed. Well, I appreciate that.
Yes.
Watching for a year and sub and then finally subscribing. That's fair. Thanks. I'm stingy with my subscriptions. Very, very tight. You got to earn it. Ewan Hodges, and I appreciate the subscribers that we have.
Yes.
It's very nice. I don't know where we are. We're 3.7, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But what I never talk about is a secret. It's a secret. The Wi-Fi's audience is actually close to 8 million. That's how many people watch the show. The subs is only the subscribers. But in a 30-day period, somewhere between 7 and 10 million people will watch at least 2 Wi-Fi's episodes. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. That's every cable news show and late night talk show put together. Watching our little channel. Ewan Hodges for 20. My mom is going to enjoy this episode. Oh, cool. She was stationed there in the 60s. Her time in the Royal Navy was spent as a switchboard operator in an underground bunker. Your mom sounds awesome. Yeah. Great episode. Love to you all. She sounds awesome.
That's cool. Make sure you hear all her stories, record her, write that stuff down.
Get all that stuff down. Ask her all the questions. Once they're gone, you're going to forget. Like I still have a couple of Dad's voicemails saved, but I have one voicemail of his, not voicemail, a conversation, and it's a story that he told over and over and over that I just love hearing him tell. I was lucky enough to record it, but my dad was such a good storyteller that they're all just gone, and so you really, really want to capture those. Not that your mom's dying anytime soon. She's fine. She's fine. Not putting that out there. Maybe give her a call. Dipshits for 5. Have you ever had a deja vu moment all the time? I have, and I shouldn't. I'm too old for deja vu. That goes away as you get older. I have deja vu all the time, and it's very uncomfortable. Had 3 in my lifetime. That's crazy. I have 3 deja vus a month. We'll never get answers on how crazy stuff. Have a great night. Deja vu's never been explained by science. What the leading theory is, we've got, as everybody knows, our brain has 2 pathways, short-term and long-term memory, right? Everybody knows this. And our brain knows to remember, to log the important stuff in the long term and the stuff that's not important, that's short-term, and it goes. Like me with the topics. That's why I'm an expert for 1 week, because it's not important next week. I just do my thing. So deja vu is the brain taking a short-term memory, something that's happening right now, and throwing it in long-term, and it's just a little bit of a glitch. So you feel like it. Oh, I'm receiving this information from my long-term memory. So this happened before, when actually it's happening in real time. I don't think that's true. I think something's up. Because why would that phenomena dissipate over time? So no one asks.
Well, the older you get, I feel like your long-term memory gets full and you have to I think you have to kick things out to remember other things.
Nope.
I don't remember like stuff when I was a kid. I remember stuff because people talk about it because we tell stories and family lore and that stuff, but I don't recall it. Like I can't visualize it.
Without illness due to aging and stuff, our brains are capable of way more than we put in there. Way, way more. You can never fill this up. There's not enough computing power on the planet to power Gino's brain, much less Jenny's.
Wait, I don't know who's better.
You don't know who got the shot in that one.
Right.
It's a glitch in the matrix. Yeah, I have deja vu fairly frequently, and it's very uncomfortable because my deja vus will last, for a good chunk of time.
He doesn't like
where it's like, okay, I get it. It's happening. That's enough. I also I don't know if recurring dreams is common, but I have those, and it's very uncomfortable.
I have them.
Like I have them semi-lucidly where I'm having that same dream where it's like, oh, here I am again. Jesus, I don't want to have this again. I guess I'm having it. That's what goes on in my crazy brain. Do an episode on Scientology. Are you nuts? I have a good lawyer, but he ain't that good.
Don't even say the S word.
We don't even say the S word. We call it the Tom Cruise thing. Is what we do. Every time I say Scientology, Hecklefish bleeps me.
Yes.
So we don't want to get sued. But as you see, the live streams are a little looser. I knock on wood. I don't know. Like if I'm served with a lawsuit, I'll know that has occurred. Michael Burke for 11, first time up in here. I feel weird. Join the club. You should do an ep on how weird I feel. Kind of like an astral YouTube projection. Well, write it up, Michael. If it's entertaining, I'll do it. Are you behind me?
No, what?
No, I'm looking for Michael's astral soul.
Oh.
Stephen Robbins for $13.99 Canadian. Please address plagiarism claim on your recent AI video. JF Gariepi, author, Revolutionary Phenotype, claims the details of your video directly copy his book. I never heard of his book. I mean, I don't plagiarize anybody, but I mean, of course I use sources. It's not like I sit there and then just invent information, but I wouldn't just recite someone's from their book. What I'll do sometimes if I'm quoting a book is I'll put it into like the secondary voice, like through an AI voice processor or something, and then I'll read the book. But I would never just do an episode on reading someone's book. Besides, if he wrote Revolutionary Phenotype, how interesting could it really be? So, Stephen, just have him reach out to my attorney. We'll take it from there. Cheapest big spender for 10. Why don't you use your old motto? The Y-Files with cool nerds laugh and learn. Please do an episode on why the return of the 10th Doctor wasn't Time Lord Victorious instead. I don't talk Doctor Who anymore. After Matt Smith, I'm out. I didn't even get into Capaldi. I don't do cool nerds laugh and learn anymore because I felt it's a little cringy. Even though we are cool nerds, a little cringy. And I don't know if we really laugh and learn anymore. Hopefully we laugh. Jonathan Cowan, what is your top 5 conspiracy theories you believe are true? So there's a saying in radio when you're doing an interview, and I just told this to Gino just an hour ago. If you ask for a story, you won't get a story. You need to prep. So if I had time to sit and think about 5 conspiracy theories, I can answer this. I can't off the top of my head that I believe are true. Most government conspiracies I believe are true. Do they kill people? Do they manipulate the currency? Are they trying to create their own crypto? All of that stuff I believe are true. We have a podcast specifically coming up on, the working, it's a compilation. The working title is The Government Hates You. So we get into a lot of those conspiracies then.
How do you find that podcast?
Anywhere you get your podcasts. Or just look on the Spotify Top 50. Neil Kaufman for 10 was surprised by the 0 Point Energy episode. That was bold, sir. Was a bit worried for you after that watch, LOL. That is one of the few that have made me nervous. But I told the truth. Jill Payne is here for $100, and you know what that means.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Human, I want you to know I said human. Thank you for all the dough tipping, as I'm sure you will find. Always is a good time. Ooh, it's fun to tip the F-I-S-H. It's fun to tip the F-I-S-H.
Jill, each of you in the Wi-Fi team is awesome. You are also appreciable. So are you, Jill. And really thank you for the support. We couldn't do this without you. I really appreciate that. Kriston Base, would you do a Robert Monroe episode? I've covered Robert Monroe and the Monroe Institute a few times in a few different ways, if you look through the channel. I forget what the name of the episode was, but it was when the CIA, when the military and CIA sent operatives to the Monroe Institute to learn how to tap into that universal energy field, that ether field. I forget the name of the episode, but it's there. And by the way, the Monroe Institute reached out and appreciated the episode. They said it was covered well and properly, which was nice to hear. Michael Allen, thank you for the super sticker. There's Johnny D, paramedic from the res. Had a coven of 3, drain an infant, 100 of razor lax. She survived. Thanks for the show. Helps dealing with the job. I don't know what that sounds dark.
Yeah, that's
dark.
Super sad.
That sounds dark.
Glad she's
paramedic on the res. That sounds like hard work. I'm glad you're out there.
Yes.
So we have a couple of healthcare workers working the reservations here tonight. That's great. Not easy work. Robert did it for 20. Hey, I wanted to thank you for all you do. I deal with a lot of health issues, and your show helps me help keeps getting me through it. This is a perfect end to a few days of severe vertigo. I'm sorry to hear that, Robert, but I'm glad that we can help.
Yeah.
Glad we can help. And I hope you feel better, my friend. Steve W. for 20. Please make Jean Abela's book title the giveaway word for the night, or just baby shoot to make it easier. We went with baby shoot. Besides that, I don't think I can even remember the full title. Yes, I can. I remember it. There's Marcio for 20. How many FBI, CIA, MIB agents would you think linger on your Discord server every day? I don't know if they're on the Discord, but they're watching.
You know,
Try not to think about that.
There are some people that bring up some suspicious type of questions that want to know things, and you know, it's interesting enough to try and play Clue to find out who's who. Who's Colonel Mustard with the wrench in the library? Yep. Come play with us.
They're definitely watching. I love when things come up repeatedly, like the younger, dry-ass Joe McMonagle, lizard people, Mount Mother Effin Hayes. Do you lean more toward stories bandwagoning or toward common evidence? I'm not sure what you mean, Renegade. When I tackle a story, I don't really focus too much on what the crowd thinks of it. I just research until I kind of have a story that makes sense to me. It sounds entertaining. Does that answer the question, do you think? Is that what he's asking?
Well, they seem like they all tie together because there's so many that have common evidence.
Oh, well, that's true. I mean, how many times does the flood myth have to come up, right?
Right.
And the younger Dryas constantly comes up in all these stories. It's got to be something to it. Colorado Kid 5, I prefer After Files every week, new episode every other week, so you're not moody. No, that would make me moody. All I need to do is get ahead of schedule, so we're not scrambling last minute. I mean, tonight's episode, we were still editing this morning. And that's a process that's not working. James Schuler for 10. What can we expect coming up? Schedule, episode topics, without being spoilery, obviously. I don't mind telling you the topics coming up. We've got Killer Patents Volume 2, the medical edition. microbiologists were dropping like flies after 9/11, like flies. It's crazy. And we get into a couple of doctors that have cured cancer, that their research was stolen. They had accidents. They got depressed. They died. So that kind of stuff is coming up. We've got more Dark Side of the Moon stuff episode coming soon. And what else?
DARPA, Viamana.
DARPA, the Vimanas will cover those. Those are the ancient Indian UFOs. It's interesting.
Brian Mitnick story.
He may be a Who Files. That's a very interesting story.
The Illuminati, Operation Gladio.
Yes, both of those things coming up.
That would be cool. Operation Gladio might get a knock on the door from the wrong guys there. JD Lane for 5. Actually, I'm not worried about the mob.
Right.
The mob doesn't care about us. I'm worried about the IRS. That it's coming. That audit's coming. JD Lane for 5. I'm sorry we had to bail on the AMA. We rescued a kitty, Zora. Well, congratulations. You got to rescue a kitty.
Yes.
I found my boy in a dumpster, just squeaking in a dumpster. Like, why would you throw away a perfectly good kitten like that? But I heard recently that that's like really common. It broke my heart. Like, people will just throw them away. Go to a dumpster and just throw the animals away. So when I found Buddy, I don't know. It was like everything was aligned. Because I stopped at a place I normally don't on the way to work. Some garbage place in Glendale, and somehow I heard the squeaking from the dumpster, and his little face was in there. I don't know how old he was, but he was nothing. A little gray kitten. So who knows? There could have been more cats in there. But I was able to reach him, so I scooped him up. So I took him to the shelter to drop him off. I didn't want an animal. I couldn't have an animal. And I dropped him off there, and I'm on my way to work. And I said, well, just out of curiosity, what happens? And they said, well, we'll clean them up and stuff. And they go out on the floor. And then if no one claims them, then we put them down. This is because they have shelters, no-kill shelters, and then they have the other kind. So this was the other kind. And I just couldn't do it. So I said, break out the paperwork. But he was so little, I had to wait like 2.5 weeks. And then I went back, and it was like a Happy Meal box with papers and a kitten in there.
Oh,
and that was my boy Buddy for years and years. That was my shadow.
Yeah.
Jonathan Cowan, thank you for the 5. Okay, Patreon check, sub check, merch check. I'm doing my part. You are, sir.
Thank you so much,
we
Jonathan.
appreciate you. Thomas Williams 5. Love the Wild Files. Could you do Japan Unit 731?
Probably. Do you know that story?
No.
Gets a little dark. It's like chemical experiments that they did on humans, and it gets like crazy. It's a lot of torture. So I don't know if we could do it, but it's an interesting story.
So if you email that in or someone write that down, we can look into that.
Got it.
But remember, I don't know anything. I'm just a guy who talks to a fish. Edward M for 5, very early Gen X here, and I still don't give a flying flip and rolling donut. Same, Edward. Darren, I don't know if you'll see this. I did, but I want to ask, do you have a buzzing in your head after you woke up from the Hag episode, Fractalized Patterns in the Head? I get these often, just curious. That's interesting. I did not.
Huh.
But what you're seeing is a chemical cascade that happens with certain psychedelics and near-death experiences. So it could have been a release of something like DMT in your brain that makes you see that. Because DMT, you'll see fractals. And I've heard people with NDEs say they see fractals before they see the light. Travis for 20, Gen X rocks. Want an episode on ATF hit squads. Hit squad sounds like murders.
Yeah.
I try not to do too many murders.
Jen.
Chris Royals Chiefs fan. All right, so then we got someone. Jenny's also from KC. There you go. 2 thumbs up for KC. I need a heck of it. Hang on. Let's let her thing go there. All right. Ooh. Ah. I need a Hecklefish Pork Chop Express t-shirt.
Oh,
that is a good
fun.
idea.
Yes.
That is. He is the Pork Chop Express. Very good idea. I see Victoria writing it down. Wasa. I'm not going to say it. 10. I heard extra dirt from the Denver airport is being used to fill up the Grand Canyon. LOL. Love the Waffle House. I like the way you think. Denver airport is a no-no topic on YouTube, and they won't tell us why. Grand Canyon, something is definitely weird going on there. I won't get too tinfoil hatty, but if you go to certain parts of the canyon, which is a no-fly zone, white planes and helicopters will appear in a no-fly zone below the rim of the canyon. Go ahead.
Tonight's episode just hit 1 of 10.
Wow, that's off to a nice start.
Yes.
It's because we've been gone a while. I like the way you think. Gino, go ahead.
Also, there's a theory that the Grand Canyon was not created by water.
Well, there's a lot of different theories, electric universe and all of that.
Oh, electric.
But we're 2:27 in, and we're 9 o'clock, so we're gonna cruise it along. If I don't get to your super chats, I do apologize, but I appreciate each and every one of them. We couldn't do this without you guys. Travel and conversation for 40. Namaste from India.
Thank you, human. Maybe now we can get some indoor plumbing for this bowl. Ugh, it smells like a dumpster full of used baby diapers in here.
Sorry about that. This is rude. Namaste to you as well. Love your videos. Make one on gold. Okay.
That's sort of the Anunnaki.
That's what I was thinking. The same thing. Gold is interesting. Aaron Jackson, $50.
I'm so tired, I'm a human. We've been together too long. I should have my own show. The moron says I am wrong.
That's rude.
So while he lay there sleeping, I had my laptop in bed. So I logged into Reddit. There was a message that read, do you want to be on YouTube? Do you like to entertain? Come and be my co-host. You only need half a brain. If you like aliens and pyramids, conspiracies catch you high, then you're the co-host I'm looking for. Message me and apply.
Aaron loves the channel. I actually fall asleep to your compilations. Well, that's a compliment, I guess, to block out my tinnitus. Okay. I mean, I know you're being very nice, Aaron, but when I hear it frequently, like, I love your show. It's just something about your voice puts me to sleep. I'm like, oh, awesome. Awesome. I'm glad I'm so engaging. Look forward to every Thursday night. Oh, so you can sleep peacefully without the ringing in your ears. Would you ever do a show about Pumapunku and the ancient Incan sites? I'd love to cover that stuff. There's a lot of good stories over there. But thank you for that. There was something in the chat I wanted to read, and it is gone. Chat moves fast, huh?
Mm-hmm.
No sexy aliens this week. Robert, I think he means how Fort Knox has no gold in it. That is a very popular theory.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, like, you can't audit Fort Knox. If you're a senator and you want to go see Fort Knox, no. It's rarely opened. I think the last time it was open was years ago. I could be wrong on that. But it's very strange. but you cannot go there. And don't try. Jonathan is there for 10. Found your show a few months ago. Love it. You and your team are amazing. Come off truly genuine. I think we are. I mean, I tell the truth here. I mean, you didn't see them before screaming and waving their arms. It's because I was spilling truth like a mofo. Kyle Johnson for 20. If you switch to Thursdays, you'll have to change the Wi-Fi theme song. I said it this morning. Like, we'd have to reach out to Spaceman Starship Brain or what? I don't.
Straight jacket spaceman.
All right. I can never remember it. Jenny, what's the matter with you? Will you keep it together? This is not. You're not being professional.
Hey, kids at home, if you want to learn how to do a professional live stream, watch something else.
Straight
This ain't it.
jackets, Star Space Brain.
I can never get it right. But he'd have to write a new one. There's Sean for 10. Just want to say the Wi-Fi's got me through my chemo and current treatments. Thank you all. Good luck and Godspeed, Sean. I hope you get through it.
Yes.
Hope you get through it. I hung out with Dad during the chemo. It was hard to watch, but he got through it. Hope you get through it, my friend. Prince, I can't say Swisher unless I say it very slowly. That's very hard for my brain to get out. Prince Swisher. 499 first, I love your show. But I'd ask you if you have a thought about covering the Heaven's Gate cult. It's just, there's so many deaths that I just don't, it's just, what's the happy ending?
Maybe a What Files episode.
It could be for true crime for sure, because there's very few happy endings with those, just a lot of victims. So with the Y-Files, if there are victims, especially children, I just won't do it.
Yeah.
Part of that is the algorithm, so selfish, and part of it is I get so deep into the research, like I really, really. Jennifer, do I do a lot of research?
Yes.
I read full books and all of it. So if I have to do something about torture or people or like kids getting poisoned or whatever, it's very difficult to get through. So I bailed on a couple of episodes because I couldn't stomach it.
Yeah.
Richard Drem, why is that? By the way, that's the hybrid. He's very famous. If you ever see him on the street, he will give you an autograph. Ask nicely. That's Richard Bramlett, the hybrid on Discord. And if you're a Patreon member, by the way, you get 2 free live streams every week. They're just for you. We do one before the episode premieres on Thursday nights where we hang out, and we'll do one again tomorrow morning for Patreon members. And the hybrid, Richard Bramlett, he's one of the mods on all of those. So, you come for me, but you stay for hybrid.
Right. Right.
And he says, here you drop this. It's an emoji of something. I don't know what it is.
A hug.
It's a bug?
Hug.
That's a
That's a hug?
Hug.
2 blue people hugging each other.
Bramlett, you work in IT. What's with the emojis, man? Look, I'm going to show you. They're in the chat. That's how we used to do it in the old days. Not only did we do smiley that way, it faced left. The only right smiley would be the happy one, but it won't even let me do it because it wants to convert into emoji. You kids don't remember any of this. The kids on the chat, they don't remember when we invented emojis. There's some good ones. Come on, someone do the fish emoji. That was always a cool one. You guys know the fish?
No.
Sandy James can do an episode on the Ark of the Covenant. Yes.
And go search it on the channel because we did one already.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I do that. I'm just being obnoxious. But yeah, we have a whole episode on the Ark, and it comes up here and there. The Book of Enoch would be another fun one to watch in connection with that. There's Gary L for 20. Dude, this show is the cat's pajamas. Well, thank you. Y'all keep doing great things. Gary sending a super chat in from 1924. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. That is choice. That is top shelf brilliant. There's Sam for Singapore. Happy Friday from Singapore, not China. Hey, we love our Chinese brothers and sisters. Keep up the good work. Governments are not people. Jeffrey Griffin for 5. Great show. And After Files, as always. When I see After Files as one word like that, my brain wants to say afterlife.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to say after flies.
Okay. I guess that's fine. Love the Discord community as well. The Discord, it's an amazing community. It's super fun for 99% of the people. The 1% know who you are. Just Kevin Farmer for 10. Just Jeremy with opinion. Buddy Rich is king. Neil is so much fun to play. He's my favorite. Once you get into that top 10, I think it's just opinions. You can make the case for bottom. With Peart, I put him at the top because of all the different innovations that he did. And I don't think he gets enough credit, but he was the main lyricist for Rush. Sean's back for 10. So when are we going to meet Hecklefish's big brother, Schmecklefish? I don't think we could do that.
Probably not.
If you speak a little Yiddish, you know that we probably can't do that. Okay. Jackson Kegel, After Files rocks. Thank you, Jackson. He's been here for a long time. And I appreciate you. Sandy James, thank you for the time. What radio show did you do? Your voice is familiar. Probably before your time, I started in local radio in Long Island, WMJC, then WBAB, overnight shifts, taking over for Opie and Anthony. After that, I went to MTV Radio and VH1 in New York, Sirius Satellite, then Playboy Radio, Sirius Satellite in LA. And that's probably about it. I bounced around a couple of other stations, but that's my whole career in a nutshell.
That was fast.
Well, I didn't have that much of a career.
I didn't mean it like that.
Clifford Sharp. I mean, Jenny's IMDb page goes forever, but my radio career fits in one sentence. Clifford Sharp for 20. Thank you for the super sticker, my friend. DSDRN is here for $100. You know what that means.
Won't you spend money on me? I'm really broke, swimming here in my bowl. I have to pay 3 ex-wives, spousal support for the rest of their lives. Those hobbies, lawyers, they cost me a ton. I think they're bleeding me just 'cause it's fun, baby. Guppies, take all of my dough. Now 2 need braces, here comes Skid Row, baby. Won't you consider tipping? Won't you consider tipping?
I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords. Okie dokie. I'm sure it's going to be fine.
Fine. It'll be fine.
Maddie Daddy remembers me from BAB. Are you sure? My radio name was Axel over there. So I don't even know if you remember that. I didn't use my real name. I wanted to, but I moved over from MJC, which was competed with BAB. So I had to change it.
Most DJs, radio DJs back in the day didn't use their.
That's true. Names. That's true. But I wanted to use my name. And which half of the radio staff that I worked with is still there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. Fingers is still on, Gino.
Yeah. Metal Shop?
Yep.
Easy.
And Roger and JP been there forever. AJ has a face for radio. Very nice. Thank you. That's very nice.
Wow.
Do you think that hurt my feelings?
No, but it hurt my feelings. For you.
No, I have a hot wife. I'm doing fine. I'm Adams for 5. I look forward to your show every week. Have you ever considered the younger Dryas being connected to destruction and the final wars of Atlantis? I think about it almost every show. There's something going on. There's a connection there. Atlantis, by the way, has been connected to Malta. I just didn't get into it because I didn't want the episode to run long. But there are theories about Atlantis being connected to Malta or vice versa. There's P-Dubs for 10. Why are you restocking Go Hecklefish? When are you restocking Go Hecklefish and Plushie? Or how do we know you do not work for intelligence or a controlled opposition? Well, you don't know. You don't know that. And I'm not saying they do, but the Hecklefish talking plushies, they have a device in there that makes sound. I'm not saying there's a microphone in there. I'm just saying If I wanted to put a microphone in there, I could do that.
Those items are going to be restocked. Watch the store within the next 2 weeks.
You keep the items so cheap that we couldn't afford to put a microphone in there.
Right. So AJ, just a little show thingies. Do you want to do another giveaway, or do you want to do a Genoscience thing and then kick us off so you can read super chats?
All right, we'll do Gino's news. Hang on, let me do a quick thing here. I'm going to start a poll. Which Gino's news story? I mean, I know what's going to win.
Well, yeah.
But I just want to be entertained. There's the poll. Get your votes in. What?
Where is it?
It's in the chat. So do we answer when the plushies are coming back?
Yeah, within the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Don't buy them from Amazon, by the way.
Yeah.
Those are bootlegs. Those are fakes. And they don't talk. Robin McAdams for 5. I look forward to your show every week. Oh, that's very nice. Have you ever considered young? Oh, I just read that. I thought I was having another deja vu. I was getting upset. Theme from Courtship of Eddie's Father would be a nice intro. Yes, it would. That's a good one. That would have to hit us early Gen Xers. But that was a good show. Everett M for 5, The 3 Laws of Robotics. She's talking about Isaac Asimov. You can give it the laws, but if we don't follow laws, why would it follow laws? That is the conundrum. You want the machine to behave better than you behave. So why would it do that once it's sentient? I can't quote the laws specifically, but it's basically I will never harm a human if a human's in trouble with stuff like that. Basically, I won't hurt people. Zeb Francis, pro AI folks, go back and watch AI Apocalypse. Yeah. And I don't think I exaggerated in that episode. I mean, I dramatized, but I didn't exaggerate. I'm surprised that time travel is beating out testicles.
Really?
I'm surprised by that. I thought there'd be more testicles fans. But yeah, it's not even close. All right. We'll read a few more. We'll give the balls a chance. Decadent Day for 10. Look what happened with AI in Colossus in the Forbidden Project. I don't know that one. Forbidden Project. I don't know that story. But if there's AI in it, it didn't end well. Farai wants time traveling sheep testicles. Okay. Remember when Chevy Chase ate all the what were they called, the lamb fries?
Oh yeah, that was in Country. What was the name of that one?
Come on, chat. What was the name of that? It was a great Chevy Chase movie. He was an author. He went out to the country to write his book.
Funny Farm.
It was Funny Farm, right? So he goes into the diner and he wants lamb fries. He loves them. They're so delicious. He eats lamb fries all the time. And he eventually eats the record amount of lamb fries and finally asks what they are. And they're sheep testicles. Funny Farm is a very good movie.
It is.
Remember that dog just running? Just a dog dog run. So that's a Y-Files audience kind of movie, because that's the comedy that I do on the show. It's just there. It's not connected to anything, and you don't have to notice it. But like in Funny Farm, there's just a dog that he just runs around. You guys don't remember that movie? That red dog? My Barrows 5. Harp on a podcast, maybe. Another dive into deep underground military bases would be epic to see. Much love from Mendocino, California. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I think we can get a few episodes out of the underground bases. Chevy's a pass. Surprised to see a non-Chevy Chase fan there. One day we'll have to get Gino to tell a story about how he was just driving Chevy Chase around and ended up hanging out in his living room that night. It's a fun story.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Strutherford 10. I'm not joking. Josh Strutherford 10. Mount MF Hayes. Love Hecklefish. Thanks, Josh. I think I have the mug is right up there. I don't think you guys can see it. Can you?
Yeah, a little.
That's a fun one. All right, where are we at? We'll do time travel after this. Colonel Smurf, 20 great episode. What are your thoughts on the Las Vegas UFO? I've seen more news about it. Now saying the aliens were cloaked. It's hard to. Something was there. I mean, there's footage of it everywhere. Here's what's strange. And Gino and I were talking about this. We've all seen shooting stars our whole lives, but now I'm seeing green ones for the first time ever. And now we're seeing. I don't mean just me personally. I've personally seen them, but people are seeing green falling stars. That's strange. That's
you're gonna hate this, but some people are saying that's a Mandela effect, and they have always been green.
Nope. No.
They've always been white for me.
They've always been white or orange. The makeup of yes. What's in it. So green would mean copper, I believe. Chris going with D's nuts. I don't think you're going to win. I think it's going to have to be time travel.
Could it possibly be because of where you lived? And whatever is in the pollution in the air is hazed over what it is that you're seeing or coloring it differently?
It's hard to say that, Jen, because I every single year for the last 25 years have watched the Pleiades meteor shower from wherever I was, New York, Arizona, California, and it's always been white and orange, like AJ said. And that's something I would do every single year. I don't miss it.
Greg saying green would be kryptonite. That's true. They could be kryptonite. I can't deny it. It's probably copper. Green meter says magnesium, says Vicky. Would that be right? I thought magnesium burned red. Could be right. Chemtrails are turning our stars green. Cassandra could be onto something. All right, let's see what we got.
Renowned astrophysicist Dr. Michael Kessler claims he has developed a mathematical equation for time travel. In a groundbreaking study published today, Kessler outlines a theoretical framework for manipulating the fabric of space-time to enable travel into the past or the future. While still conceptual, Kessler's work has ignited excitement in the scientific community. Kessler's findings are being hailed as a major step towards understanding the nature of time and the potential for humanity to transcend the constraints of our temporal existence. More on this developing story as it unfolds. Good luck with your health and stay away from desolate bridges, Dr. Kessler.
Well, there he goes. It's a time travel story. So what was going on in that story?
Well, he developed a new formula that is being accepted as scientifically as moving the theory of time travel forward. However, it needs a tremendous amount of energy to complete, of course. But, the ending is what I'm saying is, look, if you figure this out, you better watch out. You're not, if you have the solution, watch out for the government.
Yep. Don't patent it. Heidi wants to know, can she buy the Illuminati shirt in the store? I don't know. Can you? You can, right?
Yeah, that's one of our best sellers.
All right, 9:20 on the clock, 2:49. We're going to make this a 3-hour podcast, so I'm going to burn through some super chats here. Gino, thank you for the insight tonight. We appreciate it. Good luck at Contact in the Desert. Gino emceeing, introducing Richard Dolan. Victoria, thank you for your help tonight. Appreciate you as always. There she goes. Look at that beautiful wife of mine. Always laughing inappropriately. If you make a joke about poop or masturbation, she is going to giggle. Yeah, there she goes. There she goes. All right, folks, we'll get through a couple of super chats and then I'll let you go. Miss Mama J loves the sneakers. I'm glad that you do. I was against the whole sneaker idea. I thought it was dumb and nobody would buy them, but they sold out and they look pretty cool. Jen designed those. Is this live now, says PB? No. This is from the future. Damn, now I want to know about sheep testicles. I know I kind of wanted to play it as well, but since we're running out of time, we'll save it for next time. There's like 7 or 8 more of those little Gino bits in the can. I don't know what they're for, but I find them entertaining. Maria, you're very welcome. I thank you for being there. Thanks, Will. I am a lucky man. Tiffany, we always need researchers. So you can apply online. What's in the box? Yeah, that was the best part of it, was doing the commercial. Oh, we have another ad that we have to shoot that I think you guys are going to like. I want to show you the product now. I guess I have to save it. But you're going to like it. There is Gilberto for 20. Awesome episode. I'm planning to write about giants in my next book, following the events of my first book, The Abandoned Diary. All right, you got your plug-in. Everyone go buy the book of The Abandoned Diary by Gilberto and however you pronounce that. Psychoholic, wish could work for Wi-Fi's, but I'm in Australia. That's okay, man. Sorry, man. We just like to hire local. Sammy giving you Iron Man vibe with the glasses. The glasses, they're cheap Amazon glasses. I wear them because they have an amber tint because the light is too bright, and they have magnification so I can see. The early Y-Files, After Files was a lot of this because I couldn't read the chat. So they're nothing special. They're not designer. This is not a statement. And there's a link to these on Reddit. I think they're $14. Dirty wants an episode on the numbers 33 and 42 in their relation to the simulation and gematria calculations. I normally stay away from the number stories because they can get a little hinky, but I'll look into that. A lot of people have asked for that. 42 is also, I think that's the answer to life. Sandy James 5, I had an uncle that was 7'2". That was a giant to me. Can't imagine bigger. Thank you, everyone. Love every episode. Yeah, Andre was bigger than that. 7'2". Oh my goodness. Yeah, my boy's 6'6". I wanted him to pitch. He's a lefty. Instead, he turned out to be a music prodigy. I guess that's fine. Robert Ditto's back for 50. Your show helps me get through some serious health issues. Thank you, AJ Jen, for supporting. Oh, thank you, Jen, supporting AJ when the show's just beginning so I can have something to help me through. That's nice of you to say, Robert. She was, what? What are my producers doing? Are they clicking? Let me get you back there, Robert. I think Victoria's excited. Yes, Jen was very supportive at the beginning. I was out of work. I really didn't know what to do. But we had a studio in LA, and I watched other people have channels doing pretty well, and I thought I can do it. I had the skills. I thought it would be easy, and it was really, really hard. If you go back to not last year, but the year before, the New Year's episode, I tell the whole story of the Wi-Files and how we got to where we are, which at that time only took about 15 minutes to tell that story. I have a whole new story to tell you now. A whole bunch of new stuff. Echoes Valix, thank you for the 50. Hello from Australia. Adore your show. It's great to listen whilst I garden. It's nice to get a super chat for someone who uses the word whilst, and wonderful to listen to lighter content, even if it's serious stuff. Well, I thank thee for thy tip. Jack Napier, $4.99. The moon landing video shifted my brain. LOL, thank you for all you do and explore for all of us. You're welcome, Jack. It shifted my brain too. Remember, I don't know anything about this stuff, so I go in pretty cold. I think that's useful. I mean, I'm not a journalist. I never claimed to be. But I think it's useful for me to go into a story without a point of view. If anything, I go in skeptical. Like, I'll hear a theory and say that's crazy, but I'll do it if it's fun. Crazy and fun can be the same. I mean, all of us fellas have dated that. Anyway, so I'll go into a story thinking it's crazy and then do enough research and realize there's really something to it. So I think it helps going in without a bias. or if anything, a bias towards skepticism. That way, if I can reveal things that are true, it's surprising to both of us. I think makes it perfect. Crazy Hill Fart is back, upping it to 5, which we appreciate. Saturday night's all right for Wild Files. Get a little hecklefish. Girly girl, I don't know what you're laughing at, but I might have said something that got me in trouble. Whenever I hear the chat LOLing, I said something that my wife is going to yell at me about. So I'm in the hot water. All right, I'm good. She's laughing. But I've put her up here when she wasn't laughing. It might have been Beezy who made the gif of Jen making a face at something I said that displeased her, and she's just doing this in the gif.
Yes.
Tight lip, like the lips were tight. You were not pleased.
No.
Look at how skinny and tan you are. This new lifestyle is working out. Was that the Cabbage Patch? Is that what that one's called?
It's just the chair dance.
I think was that the Cabbage Patch?
Yeah.
All right. You better stop doing that because your shirt is cut. We don't want to have a malfunction. We don't want a Janet Jackson malfunction. Or we do. And Jeffrey Lane, thank you for the 5. Hello, and everyone else. Would you ever cover a haunted house ghost story in my city of Bridgeport, Connecticut? The Warrens covered the story. Jeffrey, I debunked the Warrens pretty aggressively in an episode. Not to take anything away from their work or your enjoyment of their stories, but what was unfortunate about that episode, I was just doing an episode about the Warrens. If you don't know who the Warrens are, the Conjuring movies are based on their research. They were essentially ghost hunters. So I was just doing a story on them because it's fun and people know who they are and ghost stories are fun. I don't believe in ghosts, but many do, and I'll cover it. But in my research, I discovered some bad things about Ed Warren and some of the things that were going on in his house and involved a younger woman and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's in the episode. I cover it. And I'm not getting into details here, but in that episode, I do give a warning that if you're watching with kids, get them out of the room, and then I'll tell you about Ed Warren. You're not going to like it. Jeff for 10 would love a video on Montezuma's treasure. I've been thinking about doing something about like Indian treasure stories, like El Dorado or Fountain of Youth, Cortez, all those guys. So Montezuma, there's so many good stories down there. And I've been saying it for a long time. Mesoamerica, South America, we miss a lot of good stories being so Western focused. But we're looking into it, Jeff. Buddy Smith, this is a no. Any chance of an adrenochrome episode and how it's supposedly tied with modern day human trafficking, also dark web episode? You can't do that. It's too politically charged, and YouTube would just crush it. And how do you make that even fun? I've thought about covering the dark web, just for the information of it. As you know, I'm an engineer. I'm a tech guy, so I use the dark web. I know how to. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Nerds make it sound harder than it is. It's not that hard. So I understand the dark web, but I just don't know if the story is there. And when people who are not technical think about dark web, they think about like drugs and guns and hiring hitmen and stuff, and it's just kind of negative. And that's really not what the dark web is. The dark web is mostly like academic research and stuff. So I just don't know how to make it fun. And the interesting stuff is dark. And adrenochrome, it's too charged. They would hate it. I don't even. So the answer is no, boat captain, because I can't even pronounce that. Petro Zabdosk phenomenon. Well-attested UFO case in Russia seen by many people with photos in government investigation. Well, email that in. I'll cover that. Like I just said, we're Western focused. And Russia has great UFO stories. And just like we have our Roswell stories, Russia has theirs. We just don't tell them. Americans gone American. But I would love to tell those stories. Like I keep saying, but I never get to it, is that Brazil and southern South America, so much crazy stuff has happened there UFO-wise. Crafts recovered, strange metals and alloys discovered and analyzed, and witnesses. But I just don't cover them. There's just not a lot of interest in it. Maybe I just have to do it. Paul wants to talk somewhere else besides here. Well, you know where I'm at. I'm always available. No, that's not true. I'm rarely available. But on Thursday evenings and Friday mornings, you can chat with me directly. And that's true. That's true. That's a Patreon perk. Jeffrey Bant for 10. Love you guys. Your sky trumpet up. You spoke of the Iroquois telling the settlers it was the Great Spirit. Curious where you got the research for this one, as I'm First Nations and Iroquois descent. Wow, that's awesome. The story of the Iroquois Nations is a fascinating one. So your ancestors are amazing. Iroquois, the first, I believe, the first true democracy in the world was the Iroquois Nation. Not people want to talk about ancient Greeks, but if 3/4 of your population are slaves, it's not really democracy. Whatever country it is. United States, if there are slaves, it's not really democracy. Iroquois Nation was true democracy. As for where I got the research, the best I can tell you is look at the bottom of the episode. I link out to sources. About 6 months ago, YouTube stopped allowing links to certain places. And I don't know what the rules are, but I was linking to, it was like a medical research paper and it got blocked. Like the video was fine, but the description was blocked. I couldn't link. Maybe it was because people were COVID crazy and it was a medical journal. I don't know. So I've only been linking to YouTube because they'll let you do that. And like Wikipedia, I'm no longer linked to private websites. I don't link to the medical journals. It's kind of a shame. Because if you see the early episodes, there's a ton of research down there. But now that I'm saying it, I haven't checked. It's probably not. It's probably blocked or gone. So Jeff, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Remember, I'm an expert for the week. If you had asked me that week on the After Files, I would tell you all about your ancestors, all the tribes. But it's all gone. Whoosh, Red Dragon pretend. Hey everyone, I'm an archaeologist and I love the show. That makes me happy because I cover a lot of stuff archaeologists do not like. I ever wonder if we're not supposed to know the full truth until we're ready. We'd love to find a Templar Knight here in the U.S. We'll go to Contact in the Desert out in this weekend. Look for Gino, get a hold of him, and then go talk to Tim Hogan. He's the Grand Master. So he's not just a knight, he's the knight. He's the Grand Master of his order. Now, look, his order could just be him in his house. I don't know. But he's very knowledgeable. And if Tim, if you're watching this, I'm just teasing. But the Templar Knights is one of those groups that has all these splinter cells. There's these Templars and these and these and these and these, and then the associated groups like the Masons and all that other stuff. I get into it in the episode. So to find a Templar in the U.S., they are here. If you go to a Masonic temple, you'll find some Templars there. Melissa J, you're interested in doing a lucid dreaming episode, how-to episode? I am. I'll probably do that on Patreon because that's not going to be an exciting story. That's going to be me saying, okay, now close your eyes. Now count with me. Visualize the number 1. Good. Visualize the number 2. Good. If a thought comes in your mind, picture that thought as a balloon and let it sail away. Good. Picture number 3. And so on. And we'll do that for a long time. So I don't know how many views that would get on the YouTube, but on Patreon, that's something I could put up there as a perk for them, or even free, that you can sit and watch and be bored to tears, or hang in there and learn how to lucid dream, because I can do it. Not on command. I'm not an expert. but I do know the technique. I can teach it. And some people are just going to be really good at it. I'm okay at it. Some people are really good at it, and some people just won't get it. But I can give you the techniques to try. The hardest thing is getting past the sleep paralysis. You really have to learn to get through it because your body does not enjoy it. I can't pronounce that, but I appreciate the 10. Would you talk about advantageous time? Doesn't have to be a full episode. When I found out that I had it, my life changed for the better. At least I can't have visual hallucinations. I'd never heard of that. We were going to do an episode on strange conditions, like hypermnesia, which is where you can remember everything, or synesthesia, where you get your senses confused, where you can smell colors and see sounds, that sort of thing. I wasn't sure if it was interesting enough, but also I was worried that some of them are difficult conditions that people endure. Like if you have synesthesia, it's interesting to us without it, but people that have it, they actually suffer. So I wasn't sure if I just didn't go into it. I haven't heard of this one, but it's interesting. I'm interested in maybe covering people who don't have an inner monologue. Could be an interesting story because that's something that's new to me. Finding out that there are people that don't have one, and then learning that the people who don't have an inner monologue were surprised to find out that other people do. And it's more people than I thought. Like it's a considerable percentage of people don't have a voice in their head. That sounds amazing. That sounds really peaceful because my head won't shut up. And when we do the lucid dreaming episode, we call that monkey mind, just the constant chatter. And mine is really bad. But people who are prone to anxiety and depression, as I am, they have that issue. So it's hard to overcome. That's why I'm a meditator, but I haven't in a long time because I'm really not very good at it. I can't sit still and stop thinking. Sebastian, thank you for the 50. Very generous. You guys are awesome. Love your show. I appreciate the support. Couldn't do this without you. All right. We're over time, so I'm just scrolling through the super chats. I mean, Robert drops 200 in the till. I got to say hello. And what about psyops and sounds? I appreciate that. I just did that episode 2 weeks ago. Specifically psyops and sounds, didn't I? I mean, if there's more, email me and we'll do more. When the inner monologue stops, the magic happens, says 6-5. I agree. B finally caught you live. All right, I'm gonna burn through the super chats really quick. Got my eye on the real chat. I don't like people saying, "Oh, he only reads the chats if you give him money." That's not true. And if you watch this show, you know that's not true. That being said, if someone is supporting the channel, they deserve to be acknowledged for that support. I feel that they deserve that because they keep it going. That said, just being here helps keep it going. So I try to get to everybody. Star says, I think it's crazy that people can just see things in their heads. See, that's crazy to me. Of course we see things. Griffin, the inner monologue stops. No, they don't have one. They don't visualize anything. They don't have that voice. Like when you're sitting there and you're like, I'm hungry. McDonald's is right there. I'd love a Big Mac. I was a little overweight this week, and I know it's going to give me all that stuff. I do that all day long. I have a chorus.
You do constantly,
and they're at odds with each other. I mean, I have a chorus like in the Greek stage sense, like there's 40 men and women, but the women are actually men dressed as women. That's how it was. They're there arguing and giving me advice. Sometimes bad decisions are being made. Have another bourbon. It's not going to hurt. Oh, you don't have to get up. No, it'll be fine. Oh, I didn't drink last night. Always.
Constantly.
You have the voice as well, don't you?
It never goes away.
So
I talk out loud to myself.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you talk out loudly to yourself. Jeremy is very excited that Jen's back. Sometimes I know she is beautiful. Sometimes I have to bring her back to confirm information. If I say something, I have to bring her back. Like, can you tell them I'm telling the truth?
Constantly.
But those people say it was a whole discussion. It was a Reddit thread that I first saw. It was very interesting where people were like, what do you mean? Well, how do you think of ideas? They were like, I don't even know what you mean. They said it's more like that you just react instinctively without having words happen in their mind.
Yeah, and there are people that, like, if you say picture an apple, they can't picture an apple in their head.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right. Which I don't understand how you can not have that ability to picture things and have an inner monologue and still have the ability to process language.
Right. Gina's.
I know, but we're wrapping up the show. We're wrapping up the show, Gino, and you got an early morning. You got a 5 a.m. All right. Man, talk about blowing it. Talk about getting a shot and just taking it. That last one at the buzzer. You finally get the ball. You've been begging. You finally get it. Your parents are in the crowd. The cheerleaders, everybody's watching. It's counting down. You get the ball. You have it, and it's in the air. It's slow motion. It's forever. Boop. And the clock counts down, and everything goes quiet. And just bricks. And the game's over. And that's it. And that was the reminiscing that you'd have for the rest of your life. That moment, that one moment that you were the hero that you missed because you bricked. Are you ready?
Aphantasia. That the other person talk. That's not being able to visualize something. What Jen just mentioned. That's exactly what that is. All right, I'm out.
All right. Oh, so Gino's already at the hotel for the desert.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That was smart because 5 a.m. call time is not good for Gino. It's 5
a.m. call time because they have to drive to Palm Desert from here.
Yeah, but there's load in, load out, set up, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there she goes. Oh, always good to see her. Anthony Watson, how are you doing today? Where's Hecklefish? I think he's around. He was hungover today. Jim Nichols with brick. Yeah, I was sorry to drag that on, but it was just, I'm still alive, Disco. It was just so funny to me because Gino was down there waving his arms like he was on fire. Like he was in a pure panic that he wanted to jump on. And he finally got on there and went. And it was such a brick. It was, chef's kiss, Gino. But I let him come back on. I didn't. Sometimes, I'll drop them off, and I just won't bring them back. I hear about it later, but I can deal with them. What with Red Killer 5? I've seen fractals and op art since forever. I thought everyone did. No, you may have your brain may be producing more DMT than the rest of us, which would be cool. Which would mean maybe a pineal gland that's not quite as calcified as the rest of us, which would be very interesting. There's an episode in there somewhere. I just don't know how to do it. About the pineal gland, the calcification, the DMT release, all of that. YouTube would see it as promoting illegal drug use. And so I have to figure out how to get around that rule. Hecklefish is hungover working on camel toes. They without an inner voice, as Stephen, would never laugh at a joke inside their head. Yeah, that's a shame. Noah, thank you. That's very nice. Robert enjoyed the episode. I like to think Giants were real long ago. Why not? Thanks for the hard work. It's been a while. Lilac, to be back with you guys here. Keep them coming. Thanks, Robert. I just have to show Eric just begging people to vote testicles. We'll get to the sheep balls.
It's a better one. So
is it a better one?
It is. I'll have to wait for next time, I guess.
I thought for sure the poll was going to go 95.5 on the ball side, but no, they don't want the balls. And by the way, you can get that Gino's that shirt in the Waffle House store, right? That's Gino? That is Gino Erotica for if you're into the kinky alien thing, and we're not here to judge. Look, if there really was a such thing as the Orion Slave Syndicate, I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. J2 more rush. I can't do it. I thank you for the 200, but it's it's the end of the show. There's no way that I could play it again. I'm just really sorry.
A modern day goldfish lives in style, but you haven't tipped in quite a while. My money is all spent. You haven't tipped a cent. I gotta pay my rent, or I'll be living in a tent in Portland.
All right, J2. Broke my own rules. Edward wants an episode on cryptids on the eastern Long Island. The Montauk Monster was one, maybe a random Sasquatch, or maybe tying to Plum Island, Lyme disease, early onset MS, breast cancer, or common on the island too. The answer to all those is yes. I have an episode that ties all that together. You basically that's my script that you just wrote in the super chat. I cover all of that. The Lyme disease conspiracy, and which I believe to be true. I believe that is a lab leak. I mean, labs, sometimes they leak and things get out. I'm just saying. And with the Lyme disease, I believe that was, they were releasing ticks into the wild. It's documented.
Yes.
That's proven. And several of those military labs had leaks. It's documented. It's proof. Labs leak.
Yes.
Don't they?
Yes.
Everywhere in the world. Allegedly. Merge Serum Inc. for $6.99. Have you considered doing a show on a climate change conspiracy and all the billionaires buying up high elevation farmland and the Line City? Climate change conspiracy, hard to do because it's a very divisive issue. I tease about it, but I've said on the show, climate change, it's getting warmer. I don't know why, but I'm not willing to fight about it. I don't care. I'm not willing to fight about it. Hecklefish has his own theories. Billionaires buying up elevation farmland is very interesting. That is absolutely true. That is happening. Specifically, Bill Gates. So, if you're talking about climate change, then you get Club of Rome, then you get WEF, then you get Bill Gates. It all kind of connects. The Line City, I'm not quite sure, but the Line City is a fun story. I think the Line City just closed, or didn't it just fail? Isaac, when are you getting on Jerry and inviting Graham on the show? Can you bring back the plushie? Plushie's coming back, they said, in a couple of weeks. Joe's a fan of the show. He watches the Y-Files. So his team did reach out. We couldn't sync up schedule-wise, but I'll probably go out there. I don't want to go to Austin in the summer. I'd rather go when it's cooler. I love Austin, but man, it's tough in the summer. But Gino and Joe go back like almost 20 years. So we've been on Joe's show, but before it was a monster. But it is cool that he watches. But he's into this stuff, so it'll probably be fall that'll be out there. And inviting Graham, I have to get the podcast studio up to have him in here. But if Joe's has Graham on, there's no reason for me to be near in the city. Let Graham talk. I don't know anything. Even when Joe reached out, like, I don't do podcaster interviews, but it's Joe Rogan. So first of all, Joe has been a friend to my family for a long time and knows Gino they're close. So I'm going to do it. Plus it's Joe Rogan. It's the biggest audience in the world. You have to go do it. You have to. But that being said, I told him, this was just, Gino was in the thread. I just texted Joe the other night. I'm an old radio DJ who doesn't know anything. I just tell stories and talk to a fish. So Joe knows that I got nothing.
But you guys have a similar disposition. You're smart and curious about these stories and want to hear them regardless of what the end of the story is.
Right. That's my fear, though, is me and Joe both very interested in all this stuff. Looking around for someone to answer questions. Like, what's going on with the Sphinx? I don't know. I'm interested too.
Well,
Or what's going on with the power pyramid? I don't know. I'd like to know too. We got anybody? Nobody around. All right. Next subject. You know what I'm saying?
it's not. It wouldn't go that way.
But I got to do it. I got to go do it. And Gino will probably come along for the ride, I would expect. Make the rounds, see everybody in Austin.
Of course.
All right. See Gino this weekend, a contact in the desert. Giant finally caught alive. Glad you're here. All right, 9:51. We're way over time. Let's say goodnight. Amphibious One, you'll be great. You're fun and engaging. 100. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I just want it to be a decent episode. That's all. You know, Joe knows you. That's lots of good combo waiting to be had. That's what I'm betting on. Is that he knows, since he knows me and Gino and stuff, he'll know my strengths and weaknesses, because he's the best at what he does. I don't want to say accidentally. That's not fair. Joe works really hard, but he'd be the first to say he never saw any of it coming. You know, he started just talking to his friends from his house on Ustream. I mean, we remember those days. A lot of us in this chat remember those days when him just talking with crappy webcams that we just like top of Joe's head and red band in the corner, and it was, you know, that's just what it was. And then people started just listening. And I think Graham Hancock is one of the guys that sort of launched that show into like, okay, this is something special. But he's the best at what he does. Tom Green would be interesting. We had him at the Sunset Studio, and he was an interesting dude. I'd love to see Joe Rogan get AJ high live. You will not see that. Not that I'm not against any of that, but I don't want to be altered in front of 30 million people. It's not a good look. I don't even like to sip too much bourbon when I sneak off to use the restroom. Good night, Amy Light. All right, that's going to do it. Thanks to Gino, Jen, Victoria, and the whole Waff House team. Thank you to the mods. I don't know who's here mod-wise tonight. I know The Hybrid from Discord was there. He'll sign autographs if you see him out in the world. I saw Mary J. McWeed was here. Thank you, Sean Smith. Appreciate it. Paul was here. Mischief, I think, was here. Thanks to all the mods. Thanks for everyone for super chatting tonight. If I didn't get to you, I apologize. I think I got to just about everybody. But if I didn't, I apologize. I'll get you next time. We couldn't do this without you. Remember, best way to support the channel is become a Patreon member. If you like what we're doing here on the After Files, you will love what we do on Discord, because instead of there being 20,000 of us, there's like 100 of us. So we can really get into stuff, and we have a lot of fun. So it's the best way to support the channel. It starts at $3 a month, and you get perks. 2 live streams a week. Sometimes more. I'd like to do more, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks again for hanging out this long. I don't know why anyone watches the show, but I'm glad that you do. And I appreciate your support. I'll see you next week. Hecklefish will sing you out.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I swam down each and every highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all, it's all so amusing. To think I did all that, and may I say, not did it my way. For what is a fish? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. Arrogance shows. I took the blows and did it my way. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for the White Files house band. You guys sounded great tonight. And take care of those waitresses, will you? All right. Everybody get home safe. This is Hecklefish. And you know what? I did it my way.